Hello everyone, welcome back. Good evening, my dear friends. Quickly let me know in the chat box if I'm clearly audible and visible. All right, I think I'm live. Okay, great, great. Good evening, welcome back. Sorry for a short delay due to some unavoidable reason. Class got delayed by 15 minutes, but now we are back. Yes, Ananya 7:15. Hello, hi, what's your name unknown? Good evening. Good evening, Anupama. Hi, Ananya. Welcome back. All perfect, right? Good. So today we are going to solve the most toughest, most difficult paper ever given by NTA to NEET's aspirants, right? A very good evening. I'm all good. As you can see, I'm all fine. I'm excited for today's class. Hopefully you are as well, right? So, my friends, why it is important to solve NEET 2025 paper again at this point of time? First reason that I have not solved this paper on this channel, right? You can find the solution of NEET 2025 on other platforms, on another channels also. You can find my solution also, but we have not solved it on this channel. Second, and the most important point is that we are expecting again that in re-NEET exam the difficulty level can be comparable to NEET 2025. All right, so that's what we are expecting, and today our motive is just not to solve NEET 2025 paper, but we are going to also make sure that how to actually deal with super complex problems, when to leave a particular question, when to solve it, right? So I'm going to explain all of these details also during this explanation. So this is going to be very important, and please note I'm not only going to talk about the solution part, we'll also discuss some theoretical concepts regarding these questions. All right, you all are ready? Shall we start without any delay, my dear friends? Everyone's ready, right? Be quick. Great. Great, my dear friends. So let's start today's class. The first question is obviously you all know the very infamous surface tension problem, and I'm pretty sure that still most of you cannot solve this question. Quickly write down in the chat boxes still if you guys have got some doubt in this problem. Quickly let me know in the chat box, right? Still this problem haunts many students. My first response to this question is that definitely this is super hard. No doubt about it. This is super difficult. Not only difficult, even if we are going to compare it with JEE Advanced, this is a very nice question, right? Very nice question. Is 2026 re-NEET exam is tougher than 2025? That, well, what I can actually expect is, or I can actually guess is that it is going to be either it's going to be as difficult as 2025 or slightly less difficult than 2025, right? Because 2025 was way difficult. All right, now let's discuss this question, my dear friends. Let's solve this super difficult, very infamous surface tension question. Let me read it for you and then let's begin, right? Then let's begin. Question says, consider a water tank shown in the figure. It has one wall. Now please understand, first of all, in your final exam, in your NEET exam, you must be able to get to know which question to leave, which question to solve, and which question you can actually solve it by guessing or by dimensional analysis or by any other trick method, right? That is also very important. So if you are reading a particular problem and you have got no idea, you can simply leave that question for future, right? After solving entire physics paper, biology paper, chemistry paper, you can come back to solve that question, right? So this was a question like that. Consider a water tank as shown in the figure. It has one wall at x equals to L and can be taken to be very wide, right? So it can be taken to be very wide. in the z direction. When filled with liquid of surface tension S and density S, so surface tension is S, density is rho, the liquid surface makes an angle theta naught, and theta naught is far more less than 0. See, wherever in physics you are going to get information like this, that theta is very small, please note that we are going to obviously say that tan theta can be written as tan theta, and both of these things can be written as simply theta. Right? Clear? So keep a note of this thing also. With the x-axis at x equals to L, if y of x is the height of the surface, then equation for y of x is, right? So chalo, let's start this particular problem. This is the diagram that you can see. Now we have got I have got two methods to solve this particular problem, and I am going to explain you the bigger derivation method, right? Now my dear friends, if you are going to ask me to draw a more simplistic diagram for this particular question, then I'll draw it something like this. See, let's suppose we have got a situation somewhat like this, dosto. This is how it is actually looking like. It is basically a cylinder, like a tank, right? A cylindrical tank. Got it? It is a cylindrical tank, my dear friends, and this is very wide. This is very wide. Got it? This is very wide. Now, the idea behind solving this question is to take an element. Let me explain it to you. To take an element at any point over here. Let's suppose we are assuming this element at a distance of x. Kindly note, let's suppose we are assuming an element at a distance of x from this point. That means this width is dx. This is an element, and we have got liquid filled over here, and you guys can now understand, my dear friends, that element will look somewhat like this. Please understand, that element will look somewhat like this. In 3-dimensional, that will look Is everything clear, my dear friend? Be quick. Hopefully you can understand what I have drawn, right? This is the element that I am talking about. Clear? Right? And please see, don't compare my analysis of this entire paper, my solution of this entire paper with what you are going to solve, right? Obviously, nobody can solve this paper under 1 hour. First of all, nobody can solve this paper under 1 hour, but right now our motive is not to solve it under 1 hour, 2 hour or 3 hour. Our motive is to actually discuss it with great detail. That's what our motive is, right? How you can save your time, I'm going to keep on discussing those stuff while I'm discussing the paper, right? Chalo. So hopefully this thing is absolutely clear to you. My dear friends, it will be even better that if I'll draw this diagram something like this. Hopefully now you can understand that we have got element. This is the width of the element. This is the width of the element. This is the length of the element, right? And this is the stretch. This is the wideness of that wall, which is too wide. That's what they are saying, right? So my dear friend, this is L. This is L. Let's suppose, no, sorry, let's say this is Y. Let's suppose this is Y, and let's suppose this is L. This is L, right? Now we are going to use a similar concept of capillary rise. Please understand, we are going to use a similar concept of capillary rise. In capillary rise, my dear friends, what usually happens is, let's suppose that this is a capillary tube. You have got a fluid over here, right? You have got a fluid over here, and fluid actually rises in this and it forms a meniscus. Let's suppose it forms a meniscus somewhat like this. Clear? Now, how is it possible that something like this will happen? Because of surface tension. Surface tension acts in this direction, surface tension acts in this direction, and we have got vertical component of surface tension. Am I correct? You have got horizontal component of surface tension. I mean force due to surface tension, of course, my dear friends, right? So you have got forces in this directions, dF and dF. These are in y directions, and this part of the liquid, kindly please see, my dear friends, this part of the liquid, it has got certain weight, right? It has got certain weight. Let's suppose this weight is mg. Let's suppose this weight is mg. So both of these forces actually balance this mg, and that is how the liquid is able to rise in the capillary tube. Is that fine? Is that clear? Right? So because of these two forces, the liquid actually rises, and these two forces actually balances the mg force. Let's apply the same logic over here as well, right? Let's apply the same logic over here as well. At this point, my dear friend, and at this point, angles are slightly different, right? Angles are slightly different. Now, to maximize this diagram, I'm going to draw the diagram somewhere over here, just so that you can understand it clearly. I'm going to draw the diagram somewhere over here. This is something like this, right? And obviously we have got a surface like this. Now let's suppose at this point surface tension will act in this direction, surface tension will act in this direction, right? It will always try to stretch, right? Let's say, my dear friends, angle made by this force, an angle made by this force, let's say this angle is theta, let's say this angle is theta, and this angle is theta plus d theta. This angle is theta plus d theta. Please understand that this is very, very, very small, very small. So if this angle is theta, this angle is going to be theta plus d theta. So now again we are going to do the same thing. We are going to say, okay, fine, this is going to be S multiplied by L into cos theta. This is going to be S multiplied by L into cos theta plus d theta. We really don't care about the x components. What we care is we have got y component over here and we have got y component over here. And these y components are S into L, that is surface tension times length, into sine theta, and over here we have got surface tension times L into sine of theta plus d theta. We have got something like this, right? And let's say the entire mass of this liquid is dm. The entire mass of this liquid is, hopefully you can understand, this is the element. This is, let's suppose this is dm, so force will be dm multiplied by g. dm multiplied by g. My dear friends, small mass can be written as density multiplied by small volume. Small mass can be written as density multiplied by small volume, and again volume can be written as, hopefully you don't have any doubt in this diagram, right? I have just used this to for the explanation part. Just a second, let me remove all of these things from here. Hold on, it will take some time, and you are not expected to do all of these things in your exam. What you are expected to do is leave this question as soon as possible, right? Now I know there is a slippery ground over here. How to know which question to leave and how to know which question not to leave, this is a very, very difficult thing in your final NEET exams. Sometimes you might leave a particular question and after coming home you might find out, this question, I could have done this question by eliminating the options, right? So have some patience, I'm solving this for you, right? And this is the most accurate method. So dv can be written as, my dear friends, dv can be written as dx multiplied by y, and let's say this length is, I have assumed it as L, multiplied by g. Hopefully this is all clear to you, right? Now we are going to simply use our equation. That means both of these forces, this plus this, should be equals to this. Is that correct? Can you please write down in the chat box? So that means SL into sine theta plus SL into sine of theta plus d theta will be equals to rho g L dx rho g L dx into y, right? My dear friends, just now I have said one thing, because theta is very small, because this theta is very small, because this theta is very small, what I can do is, instead of writing sine theta, I can write it as theta only. I can write it as theta only, right? So what I'm going to get over here is, I'm going to get S into L theta plus S into L. My dear friends, this will become theta plus d theta. That means SL theta plus, and I'm so sorry, I have done one mistake. So sorry. Just a second, my dear friends. This force will be in downward direction. This entire force will be in downward direction, of course, right? So this force will be in downward direction. As you can see, that's how the curve part is working, right? Surface tension works as a stretched membrane. It wants to keep the surface of the water as a stretched membrane. So this surface will be pulled down. This surface will be pulled up. So I'm going to write down, magnitude is definitely the same. That means SL into sine theta, right? And we are going to mark the angle somewhere over here. That means this is our angle theta, right? Something like this. So that means now I'm going to again rewrite it for you. SL sine of theta plus d theta is equals to SL sine theta plus this force mg, that means rho into y into g into L into dx. Next step is going to be, my dear friends, SL, and this thing can be written as theta plus d theta is equals to SL into theta plus rho g y L into dx. My dear friends, if I'm going to multiply this will become SL theta, this will become SL d theta is equals to SL theta plus rho g y L into dx. SL theta and SL theta will get cancelled out. Finally, I'll get my answer as SL d theta is equals to rho g y L into dx. Now please understand, let's look at the final equation over here. Let's look at the final equation over here. My dear friends, what do you mean by d theta? Okay, hold on. Let's do one more thing. Instead of this equation, let's write it as SL d theta by dx is equals to rho g y, and we have got one more L, so I can also cancel out L, right? I can also cancel out L. My dear friends, what do you mean by d theta by dx? So please remember, if theta is small, then theta can be also written as tan theta, and if, as you guys know, tan theta can be written as dy by dx, right? Tan theta can be written as dy by dx. So that means after this step, my dear friends, I'm going to rewrite it over here, because we have almost found out answer. This thing can be written as d2y by dx square, and then you have got rho gy divided by s, right? And now you can check it. D2y by dx square rho gy divided by s, d2y by dx square rho gy divided by s. So I mean, again, if you are going to ask me about this question, this is definitely super complex, no doubt about it, right? But right now, when you are solving previous year questions, when you are solving JEE mains questions, everybody can understand this. Let me explain it all over again, just once more. See, what I have said is, let's take an element over here. First of all, understand this diagram in 3D. It looks something like this. It looks something like this, right? You have got a, let's assume we have got a a very infinitely thin element over here of thickness dx, height is y, and then it is also wide. Let's suppose that width is L, right? Let's suppose this its width is L. So now we are going to draw surface tension forces. One force will come down, one force will come up. Let's not talk about the horizontal forces or atmospheric pressure also. Okay, we are assuming that atmospheric pressure is also, force by atmospheric pressure is also balanced. So SL sine theta plus mg will be balanced by this single force, and then instead of sine I have simply written angle, right? Sine of theta plus d theta can be simply written as angle because angles are very small. Again, sine theta can be written as theta, angle is very small, and then I have solved it. After this, my dear friends, at this point of time I have written this dx, I have written it with d theta. So that means this will become d theta by dx. Now d theta by dx is a very important thing. Why? Because theta can be written as tan theta and tan theta can be written as dy by dx. That means this thing can be written as d2y by dx square, and we have got our answer. Nobody is expecting you to solve this in your NEET exam, so do not feel bad, right? Please. Got it? Clear? Now we have got also one more method in which you can solve this question using the concept of radius of curvature, but I think I have that is again slightly more confusing because you don't know when to apply a particular formula, right? You know the formula of excess pressure in a bubble, you know it in the case for drop. We have got one more pressure for cylindrical surfaces, but that is not in the course of NEET exam. So I think this is more than sufficient. Now you should not worry about it a lot. Second question. Now again, many students faced trouble in this, and let me tell you why. They have said that we have got a microscope and it has got objective. Of course, we have got compound microscope. We have got an objective focal length as 2 centimeter. We have got an eyepiece and its focal length of 4 centimeter, and tube length is of 40 centimeter, and they have not said that where final image is getting obtained. They have not said anything. So this is where you must attend these classes and you must remember formulas. The formula for this is, first of all, what formula to use, right? So magnification will be L multiplied by D divided by FO times FE. Now it is very much possible that you might not have seen this formula a lot. When to use this formula? When tube length is, or when FO and FE is greater than, let me write it as far greater than or far smaller than, sorry, my bad, far smaller than tube length. Now please see this thing. Tube length is actually 40 centimeter and focal length are 2 centimeter and 4 centimeter. This is the indication that you will have to use this formula, and if you are going to use it, tube length is, I believe, 40 centimeter. Let's keep it in centimeter. Normal near vision is 25 divided by FO. FO is, my dear friends, 2 centimeter and FE is 4 centimeter, right? So this is 8 and this is, I believe, 5. So answer will be 125. But again, although this is an easy question, but many students don't actually remember this formula, right? So if you are also one of them that you are seeing this formula for the first time, let me tell you, remember these things. And also in the chat box and in the comment sections, let me know if you guys want me to make a video on optical instruments. Now I know that you want me to sir, for what thing they are asking for tube length. They are not asking anything for tube length, my dear friends. They have given you the tube length. they have given you the tube length, right? I know that I have to make a video on logic gates, and second, if you guys want, I can make a video on optical instrument. Over there I can actually explain this. This is let me tell you, this is for that case when final image is at infinity. That means normal relaxed eye situation. Got it? For compound microscope, now usually we have got like simple formula, right? This is we actually arrive to this formula after one or two manipulations, right? Clear? All right. Okay. But for that you will have to write that, sir, yes, we want optical instrument video, a separate video. So I'll make a separate video of 20 to 30 minutes. In that I will complete simple microscope, compound microscope, astronomical telescope, along with some numericals, in which all of these things will get covered, right? Usually over there we discuss all of these things, right? Now let's move on. Next question. Now this is not difficult, right? So this was also unique question, but not difficult, but unique. This was extremely difficult, extremely unique, not at all solvable in your final NEET exam. Nobody can solve it. Do not get demotivated after seeing these types of questions, right? It is very important for you to note it that your main subject is biology, not physics, right? Chalo, let's move on. Right now what you can do is you can practice as many JEE mains question as possible. Now let me tell you one more thing. You can compare my class with anybody else class. In my class, I'm not saying that nobody is teaching as good as I'm teaching, but one thing is for sure, if you're going to watch my kinematics lecture, which I have taken on this channel, Newton laws of motion, work, power, energy, rotational motion, center of mass, we have completed these 5 lectures. For RE-NEET exam, we have only solved JEE mains above moderate difficulty level exam, above moderate difficulty level questions, right? So please complete those. Now in this question they are saying an electron which has got, we know the mass of an electron, we know the charge, right? Moving with the speed of c by 100, moving with the speed of c by 100, injected into the magnetic field of magnitude 9 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla, fine, perpendicular to the direction. If we wish to apply a uniform electric field with the magnetic field so that the electron does not get deflected. Now this is an easy question. Why? Let me tell you. Let's suppose this is an electron. This is an electron, and see what they are trying to say. They are saying that magnetic injected into a magnetic field of 9 into 10 to the power 10 Tesla, right? And magnetic field is, by the way, is perpendicular to the direction of motion. So no problem. No problem, my dear friend. Let's suppose this is an electron. This is the direction of velocity. And let's say this is magnetic field. We all know, my dear friends, if let's suppose this was a positive charge, if let's suppose this was a positive charge, in that case, force, magnetic force would have acted in upward direction. See, magnetic field inside, current in this direction, magnetic force upwards. But it is not a positive charge, it is a negative charge. That means simply magnetic force will act in the downward direction. Magnetic force will act in the downward direction. So this is going to be your magnetic force, Fm. And value of this will be QVB sine 90. And if you really want to actually move if you really want that this electron should go undeviated, that means an electrostatics force must counterbalance it, and the force must act something like this. That means Q times E, right? And that means we must have a positive charge over here, and which means that electric field should be in this direction. Electric field should be in this direction. If electric field is in this direction, force will act in upward direction, and you can easily say that QE will be equals to QVB. E and E can get cancelled out, and we wanted to find out the magnitude of electric field. This is 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 100, because that's what they have said. It is C by 100 and equals to multiplied by magnitude of magnetic field, which is 9 into 10 to the power minus 4. 9 into 10 to the power minus 4, right? And then obviously, my dear friends, this thing can be written as minus 6, and this will be written as 27 times 10 to the power 2. So 27 into 10 to the power 2 unit will be volt per meter. Everything is an SI unit, and electric field is not, of course, it is not parallel to magnetic field. It is perpendicular to magnetic field. Option 2 is correct. This is easy. Also, it is easy. Also, it is simple. I mean, not complex, not lengthy, not difficult, nothing. Doable question. Extremely doable question, right? B is absolutely correct, my dear friends. Please note it down. B is absolutely correct. All right, clear? Everything is sorted. Quickly write down in the chat box, my dear friends. Any more doubt? Can we move on to the next question? Right? Now we have got, there are two inclined surfaces. We have got two inclined surfaces of equal length. We have got two inclined surfaces of equal length and same angle of inclination, that is 45 degree. All right. So you have got 45 degree over here and you have got a 45 degree over here, right? Okay, fine. Then what? So this angle of inclination is 45 degree and this is also 45 degree. Done. One of them is rough and the other one is perfectly smooth. A given body takes 2 times as much time to slide down on the rough surface, right? Okay. So what they are trying to say is that a given body takes 2 times as much time to slide down on a rough surface than on the smooth surface. Let's suppose this is the rough surface. Let's suppose this is the rough surface. Obviously, g sine theta will act downwards and mu g cos theta. I'm just talking about acceleration. Okay, I can multiply m also if you want, right? Cos theta will act in the upward direction, right? Let's suppose this displacement, this length is, let's say it is s. So this will be also s. We have got the same block and now we have got only one force, that is mg sine theta, right? Let's say time taken by this is t1. So time taken by this will be 2 times. That means 2 times of t1. So this is t2. Right. So if I'm going to look for the first one, I'm going to simply say s equals to ut plus half g. Instead of g, I'm going to write g sine 45 degree into t1 square. Is it clear? Now for the second one also it will be same. So half g sine 45 degree minus mu g cos 45 degree into t2 square. Right? Now they are saying, my dear friends, I'm going to save some time and I'm going to simply say that instead of this t2 square, I can write 2 times of t1 whole square, because they are saying the given body takes 2 times as much time, right? So now let's equate this equation and this equation. So we are going to get 1 upon 2 g sine 45 degree and t1 square is equals to half, I can take out g common, sine 45 degree minus mu cos 45 degree into 4 into t1 square. My dear friends, I can easily cancel out 1 upon 2 g. My dear friends, I can also cancel out sine 45 and cos 45. I can also cancel out t1 square and t1 square. So I'll be left with 1 equals to, I've got 1 minus mu and I've got 4 over here. That means 1 minus mu will be equals to 1 by 4, which means that mu will be equals to 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 3 by 4. Right? So 3 by 4 is the correct answer for this. Is it clear? Now you can solve it and get to the correct answer. Clear? Done? Everything is sorted, my dear friends. Any more doubt? Clear? See, sine 45 and cos 45 have same values. So that's what I have cancelled. So I'll be left with 1 minus mu. Any more doubt? Any more trouble? Dosto, clear? Quickly write down in the chat box if everything's clear, if everything's sorted, my dear friends. Then I'll move on. Huh? Be quick. Let me know, my dear friends. Let me know. Done? Any more doubt? 0.75 is going to be the correct answer, my dear friends, right? 0.75 is going to be the correct answer, my dear friends. Chalo, let's move to the next question. Done and dusted. Very good. Very, very good. Now in the next question we have got the kinetic energies of two similar cars A and B are 100 joules and 100 joules and 225 joules. All right, great. On applying brakes, car A stops after 1000 meters. Car A stops after 1000 meters and car B stops after 1500 meter. Great. All right. If FA and FB are the forces applied by the brakes, my dear friends, this is again one tip for you. Whenever they are going to use, whenever they are going to ask questions like this, always remember work energy theorem. Always remember work energy theorem. Work energy theorem basically says that net work done will be written as change in kinetic energy. Now they are saying that it is getting stopped, right? It is getting stopped. So that means further this thing can be written as final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So final kinetic energy is 0 and they are saying that the kinetic energy of are 100 joules and 225 joules, right? So on applying the brakes, car A stops at 100 meter. My dear friends, net for this thing can be written as force multiplied by displacement. So F1 x1 will be equals to negative times of 100 and F2 into x2 will be equals to negative times of 225. Let's take the ratio of these two things, right? Let's take the ratio of these two things. Now they are saying we have to find out F1 FA is to FB. So FA is to FB multiplied by, my dear friends, car A is getting stopped in 1000 meters, car B is getting stopped in 1500 meters. You can ignore the negative sign or you can cancel them out. This will be 100 divided by 225. Solve this equation and you will get to the answer. Clear? Obviously, I mean, I can solve it for you, but I don't think there's much left, right? 15 times 15 is this. There's not much left. This is going to be 2, this is going to be 3. So it's going to be 2 by 3. Let me know in the chat box. Be quick. Quickly write it down in the chat box, dosto. Hopefully, I can expect that you can solve some of the questions, right? Be quick. Be really quick. Let me know. Everything's clear with this problem. Done and dusted, right? 2 by 3. Come on. Work energy theorem is very important, right? Very important. Next question. Next question, my dear friends. The current passing through the battery in the given circuit is what? Okay. So again, this looked a slightly complex, but if you are going to look at this diagram, right, this is definitely this is looking slightly complex, but kindly look at this structure. Kindly look at this structure, these 2 points, right? And if you are going to look over here, I'm going to draw it for you. This is point E. This is point E, and then after E you have got F, and you have got E. After E you have got D, and then after F, my dear friends, after F, right? Okay, so after F we have got no problem. Let's see. Actually, we don't have to draw anything. I don't have to draw anything. I can simply write it over here only. I'll tell you how. Dosto, if you'll notice, this is 3 divided by 1.5. 3 divided by 1.5. That means this is 2. And this is 5 divided by 2.5. That means this is also 2. These are same. It means that this branch is a balanced Wheatstone bridge. Balanced Wheatstone bridge. It means that we can remove this 6 ohm. We can remove this 6 ohm, right? And in those types of cases, then if you are going to remove this, now you can understand that let's suppose current I is flowing over here, then same current I will flow over here also. Let's say it is current I1, and if current I2 is flowing, same current will flow. So that means 3 and 5 are going to be in series combination, right? 3 and 5 are going to be in series combination. That means 8 ohm, 3 plus 5 in 8 ohm. So I have, let me cancel this, and this is 1.5 plus, so that means this is 3 and this is 4, so this is 4 ohm. So 1.5 and 2.5 will be actually equals to 4 ohm. Now these two are in parallel combination. These two are in parallel combination. So parallel combination basically means that 8 times 4 divided by 12. So this will become 3, and finally I'll get this as 8 by 3 ohm. So this entire structure is nothing but 8 by 3 ohm, right? This entire structure is nothing but 8 by 3 ohm. Hopefully everything is clear, my dear friends. Please see, 1.3 divided by 1.5 is 2. 5 divided by 2.5 is 2. That means this is a balanced Wheatstone bridge. I can remove this 6 ohm. In this case, this is going to be these two are going to be in series combination, these two are going to be in series combination, and these two are going to be in parallel combination. That means 8 and 4 are going to be in parallel combination. Finally, parallel combination, the equivalent of this parallel combination will come out as 8 by 3 ohm. Clear? Now my dear friends, after this, all you have to do is to find out the finally R equivalent. Finally R equivalent will be 1 by 3 plus 8 by 3, right? This 8 by 3 is for this thing, plus this is 1.5 and this is 5.5. So again, okay, by the way, my dear friends, this will become 9 by 3, and that means this whole thing will become 3. So you will have 3 plus, and this will become 1 plus 5 is 6, this will become 7. That means finally you are getting as 10 ohm as final answer. So your current will be V is 5 volt and divided by 10, that means 0.5 ampere. 0.5 ampere. Quickly write down in the chat box if everything's clear, dosto. Be quick, my dear friends. 0.5 is the correct answer. Absolutely right. Any more doubt, any more trouble? Write down in the chat box. This question was slightly, I can say slightly difficult. Not too difficult, but slightly difficult, my dear friends. Clear? Done? Any more doubt? Yeah, Anupama, do you have any doubt, dear? I think 2 ampere is wrong. 0.5 ampere is correct. Please check once again. Please check. My dear friend, please check it again. 2 ampere is wrong. 1 by 2 is correct. है ना? You might have done it as, हाँ, ठीक है, very good बच्चे, very good, clear, good. Now let's move on to the next question, right? Very good, Farzana. Now this problem. This is also a normal basic. Now again, let me tell you, this was easy, very easy. This was not easy but doable. Not easy but doable, right? It was moderate. Now let's move to the next question. This is also less than moderate difficulty level. Not at all difficult. We cannot say that this question is difficult. Now let's see what they are saying. In this question, they are saying, a bob of heavy mass small m is suspended by a light string of length L. The bob given a horizontal velocity v0. So bob has horizontal velocity v0 at this point, my dear friends. And then they are saying if the string gets slack, please understand, if the string gets slack, slack basically means that tension becomes 0. Slack basically means that tension becomes 0 at some point P, making an angle theta. So let's draw a free body diagram at this particular point. Let's draw free body diagram at this particular point. See, tension becoming 0 does not mean that its velocity is 0. Okay, sometimes students actually get confused in this thing. Tension becoming 0 does not mean that velocity is 0. So let's make a free body diagram at this point. mg will act downwards, tension will act in this direction. If this angle is theta, this is mg. If this angle is theta, this is going to be 90 minus theta, and this is tension T, which is becoming 0, mind you, and you have got another force over here. I can rewrite this force as mg. This is 90 minus theta, so this is mg sine theta. And then you have got a force acting away from the center, which is centrifugal force, because we are drawing this free body diagram with respect to the body. So this is mv square divided by r. And instead of r, let's write it as L, that is length of the string, mv square by L. Now if you are going to ask me, sir, kindly please write down the equation for us at this point. So I'll say, see, at this point, let's write down the equation. We are going to write it down as tension plus mg sine theta is equals to mv square by L. Now they are saying that tension is becoming 0. No problem, sir. Let's make it as 0. Now we don't know what this V is. So again, I'll say no problem. Let's use conservation of mechanical energy. Let's use conservation of mechanical energy between what, my dear friends? Between, let's say this is point A and this is point P. So conservation of mechanical energy between point A and P. Between point A and P. So let's use it. You're going to write, sir, initially we have got energy as half mv. Also you can use third equation also, okay? But why I always talk about conservation of mechanical energy, because you are going to use it. Sir, almost 2025 का paper है. अरे almost नहीं, बोल के करा रहा हूँ भाई. I have said that we are solving 2025 paper. ठीक है? I have said it in the first part. All right, I'm not giving you a surprise. This is 2025 paper only. All questions are 2025. The reason that we are doing this, Henry, is because so that you can have an idea, right? Now you have got only how many days are left for your NEET exam? 21 days. So you can have an idea ki how to tackle a very difficult paper, right? And using this paper, I'll also give you a revision of important concepts like these, right? So half m u square, v naught square initial kinetic energy is equals to half m v square plus, my dear friends, potential energy will be. Now please see, this length is, this is very important for you to note down. This length is, right, this length is, if this is L, this length will be simply L sine theta. And we know that this length is L, right? So we are going to get mg into height is L1 plus sine theta, right? So m and m can get cancelled out. If you want me to cancel out this 1 by 2, I'll simply write 2 over here, right? Now please understand, what we wanted to know is the ratio of speed v of the bob at point P to the initial speed v naught. So actually what we want is, we want v divided by v naught, right? We want v divided by v naught. So here let's do one thing. Let's we are going to write down v square as, we are going to write v square as v naught square, or my dear friends, let's do one thing. Yes. Let's write v square as v naught square minus 2gl minus 2gl 1 plus sine theta, right? Let's rewrite it as something like this. Hopefully you don't have any doubt till here. Now my dear friends, what you can actually do is, you can substitute the value of this v over here, right? You can substitute it over here. Or what you can also do is, if you can cancel out this v, let me tell you one more way. If you are going to cancel out this v, and this v will be written as under root gl sine theta, under root gl sine theta, right? Under root gl sine theta. So my dear friends, Let's write down this as under root GL sine theta. So this will become GL sine theta, and this will become plus 2GL plus 2GL sine theta is equals to V naught square. So you will get V naught as under root 3GL sine theta plus 2GL. Now I think we have got, we know V naught, let me write it over here. We know V, we know V naught, V is GL sine theta, and this is 3GL sine theta plus 2GL, and this is actually whole raised to the power 2, and you can cancel out GL, so you have got sine theta, whole divided by 3 sine theta plus 2g and whole raised to the power 1 by 2. Sine theta divided by and g is also getting cancelled out, sorry, divided by 2 plus 3 sine theta whole raised to the power 1 by 2. So D is the correct answer. Correct, right? So two important things noted down, that we have, if tension, if string becomes slack, that means tension will be 0, right? And if tension becomes 0, you can easily find out V square. Second relation is between V square and V naught square. This is nothing but third equation of motion. So you can also use third equation of motion, but if you are going to constantly use conservation of mechanical energy, that will help you in different questions also, right? Is that clear? So nice problem, moderate problem, I can say, right? Not too easy, not too difficult. Let's move on to next question, my dear friends, which is logic gates, right? Now in this question, please see, we have got A and B is getting in this also and in this also. By the way, this is NAND and this is NOR. This is NOR, right? This is A and this is B. So this will become A. This NOR basically means A plus B. So A plus B, but we have got A and B and then we have got an inverter bubble. So something like this. Hopefully this is all clear, right? Then you have got A and you have got B. So and basically means dot, and then you have got an inverter bubble, right? Inverter gate. And then you have got, my dear friends, you have got an AND gate, right? You have got an AND gate. So finally Y will be A plus B dot A dot B bar, something like this. Clear? Now we have to use De Morgan's law. Now what does De Morgan's law says? De Morgan's law says that what you can do is, it is very simple. Break the line, change the sign. What I have said, break the line, change the sign. That means break this line and this will become, break it and distribute it, A bar, B bar, and instead of plus write dot. This will become, and over here if you want to again do it just for your sake, let's say for the sake of example, we are going to write it like something like this. Is it clear, my dear friends? Now let's multiply, right? You can multiply it, and by the way, this is all Y. So A dot, this will become A bar dot B bar dot A bar plus A bar dot B bar dot B bar. My dear friends, A bar dot A bar is 1. Please remember, anything, if somebody say, yaar, what is A dot A, it is A. If somebody says what is A bar dot A bar, it is A bar. So nothing doing, this will become A bar dot B bar and this is also same A dot B bar. So my dear friends, again we can rewrite it as A plus B and bar. So A plus B is OR and inverter bubble is NOR. So answer is going to be 4, NOR. Chalo, let me know in the chat box if you have any doubt with this question, my dear friends. This is a NOR gate. You can also use, my dear friends, you can also use truth table, but again, my suggestion is to use De Morgan's law. Break the chain, break the line, change the sign. Break the line, change the sign. But Anupama, you are again saying it is NAND gate. Here it is not NAND gate, it is AND gate. Kindly see, if you have any doubt, bache, I can again tell you. This is A dot B, then again this is A dot B. So I am saying here again this is some logic, this is some logic, right? Let's say this is P plus P. So answer will be P. Got it? And then again, let's do the reverse. Change the sign and make the line. So change the sign and make the line. Break the line, change the sign. Break the line, change the sign. Right? Clear? Alright? Done and dusted? Any more trouble? Very good. Let's move to the next question. Hopefully everything is clear. Next question is, electric field in a plane electromagnetic wave is given by the electromagnetic Ez. Electric field is given by 60 cos 5x plus, I think there's some typo, so I'll correct it for you, plus 1.5 into 10 to the power 90 volt per meter, right? And this is along z axis, that means this is along k cap. Now you only require one field, that is electric field or magnetic field, to know in which direction electromagnetic field is traveling, right? Like for example, as kindly see, this is 5x plus omega t. This, what is this, my dear friend? This is actually kx plus omega t, right? This means that electromagnetic wave is traveling towards negative x-axis, right? So looking at any equation of magnetic field should also convey the same thing, right? For example, as electric field and magnetic field are children of same parents, so their surname will be same. So this is the surname, this is their second name, family name, right? Family name 5x plus this. So in magnetic field also it should be same. So let's see. It's same. Everything is same. Very, very nice. So we don't have any problem with this, right? What we can actually say is, ki sir, this is not possible. Z is not possible. And sir, X is also not possible because electromagnetic wave is traveling in X direction. This is also not possible, sir, because electromagnetic wave is traveling. How come magnetic field will also travel, right? How come magnetic field will also travel? Now the next thing is, my dear friends, always remember that E cap cross B cap is equals to C cap. That means K cap dot cross something should give me minus I cap. So it has to be J, right? If you have any doubt, let me tell you the trick also. I cross J gives K. That means if you are going to move from I cross J, I to J, you will get K. If you will do J cross K, you will get I. But if you want to get to minus I cap, you will have to go anti-clockwise. That means K dot J will give you minus I cap. So it has to be J. That means A is the correct answer. Acha, I'm so sorry. Still, I have got one thing left. That is E naught by B naught That means the amplitude of electrical field intensity divided by magnitude of magnetic field intensity should give you speed of light, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8. That means if you want to know B naught, we can simply write E naught, that is 60 divided by 3. I can write it down as 10 to the power minus 8 and this will become 20. Right. So that means 2 into 10 to the power minus 7. So nice problem, because this problem is checking your all concepts of electromagnetic waves. Not like all concepts, but yes, basic concepts. Like for example is direction, in which direction EM wave is moving. Although I mean, there we got no help with this angle, with this argument, but still it is a very important thing to note. Everything is clear, my dear friends? Quickly write down in the chat box, right? Can I move on to the next problem? This was a very doable problem, from NEET 2025. Now please note this thing in your head. No matter how much difficult RE-NEET exam comes, first of all, it is a competitive exam. All 20 lakh students are going to give the same exam, right? Some of them might get it before you, but fine, let's not talk about that. So my point is that still there are going to be plenty of questions that you can attempt and still get good marks, right? Now moving on to the next question. Next problem. Again, a doable, easy problem. A doable, easy problem, my dear friend, from NEET 2025. A ball of mass 0.5 kg is dropped from a height of 40 meters. The ball hits the ground and rises to a height of 10 meters. The impulse imparted. My dear friends, you are going to use the concept of impulse as impulse, which we denote as J vector. It is nothing but it is change in linear momentum. It is nothing but it is change in linear momentum, my dear friend. And in this question, they are saying that we have dropped a particle, we have dropped a ball whose mass is 0.5 kg, at from a height of 40 meter. From a height of 40 meter, my dear friends. So this height is 40 meter. So that means the velocity with which it is going to strike is u, and it is going to be under root 2 gh. So 2 into 10 into h is 40. Right? My dear friends, this will become actually, I can take out this 2, right? And I can take out 110 outside, hopefully, and still I have got 2 left. Right? Because this was coming out to be 400, this was 800, so 20 root 2. And the velocity with which it will again go up, we can find that out by simply using that now the height is 10 meters. Let's say this is V. So V will be again under root 2 into 10 into 10. So that means 10 root 2. So change in linear momentum will be, mass is 0.5 kg, 1 upon 2. Final momentum is 10 root 2 minus of minus 20 root 2. So finally you are going to get 30 root 2 divided by 2, that is 15. 15 root 2. I think you can now find the answer. Just substitute the value of root 2. I think you will get. Let's check. Hopefully we have not done any mistake here. Hopefully not. Acha, theek hai. Oh, I am so sorry. My bad, my dear friends. They have said to use 9.8. They have said to use 9.8. But fine, let's see what is the error. Huh? Let's see what is the error. No problem. No problem. This will also help us to understand what error we'll get if we'll select the wrong values, right? So my answer is 15 times 1.414. 21.21. My answer is coming as 21.21, right? And if you're going to select 9.8, you will get correct answer as 21. Got it? So see, nothing, I mean, even if you're going to select GS10, it's not like you land up to the wrong answer, right? Same answer. Done? Clear? So still we are getting the correct answer, my dear friends. No mistake has been done. Hopefully everything is done and dusted. Clear? But please, if you will take G equals to 9.8, it might be possible that you are going to get perfect square like 14 and things like that. Chalo. Hopefully everything is clear, right? I'm moving on to the next question. Next question is saying AB is part of an electrical, okay, please see. Now in this question they are saying AB is part of an electrical circuit. The potential difference between A and B. Very common type of a problem, right? Do it sincerely. This is very easy. They are saying that at a particular instant current is 2 ampere and it is increasing, my dear friends. If current increases, then the job of this inductor is to oppose it. The job of this inductor is to oppose it, and it will oppose it in this way. And the EMF, the potential difference across this imaginary battery will be L di by dt, right? L di by dt, I'm talking about magnitude. So L is 1 Henry, di by dt is increasing at a rate of 1 ampere. That means it is of 1 volt. So this battery is of 1 volt. Now let's start to write. First we'll start with A point, so we'll write VA. As we'll move, we are going to move from positive terminal to negative terminal. That means minus 1 volt. Then we are going to again move from positive terminal to negative terminal. That means minus 5 volt. Then again we are moving in the direction of current, and value of current is, mind you, 2 ampere. So that means 2 multiplied by 2, it's going to be 4 volt. So again a potential drop 4 volt and is equals to VB. So we are going to get VA minus VB is equals to, and now you are going to get, I believe, 10 volt. So D is the correct answer. Right? Clear? Hopefully no doubt. Very easy, very basic, and a very common type of a problem. Come on. Let's quickly move on, right? Done and dusted. Very good everyone. Next question. A 2 ampere current is flowing through two different small circular loop coils having radii in the ratio 1:2. So you have got one coil and you have got another coil, and the ratio are of the radius r is 1:2. Fine. Then they are saying respective magnetic moment. My dear friends, if let's suppose current is I and they are saying 2 ampere, same current is flowing. So please note, magnetic moment is an important concept. Magnetic moment will be in this direction. Let's suppose this is M1. Let's say this is M2. Please note that magnetic moment is nothing but current multiplied by area, pi into r square, right? That means magnetic moment is directly proportional to r square when current is constant, when current is same. That means if they are talking about the ratio of magnetic field, it would be M1 divided by M2 is equals to R1 upon R2 and square of this, which will give us square of 1 upon 2, which is 1 by 4. And please note that in NEET 2025, they have asked, I think, 2 questions using the concept of magnetic moment, which tells you that it is an important topic, right? Don't forget magnetic moment. Clear? Any more doubt, my dear friends? Be quick. Done? In a certain camera, a combination of 4 similar thin convex lenses are arranged axially. So you in a certain combination, you have got 4 lenses, and by the way, these are convex lens, right? There is also one more way to draw convex lens, my dear friends, if you don't know, which is something like this. Chalo, no problem. I'll use the normal diagram. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? And these are similar. The main point is that these are 4 similar thin convex lens, and power and total power is P and magnification is M. So magnification is M, magnification is M, magnification is M, magnification is M, right? So first of all, net power will become P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4, that means 4P. And now net magnification will become, as you guys know from optical instruments also, how we write magnification. Magnification of eyepiece multiplied by magnification of objective lens, right? So magnification will be M times M times M times M, that is M raised to the power 4. So again, a very easy and very doable problem, right? So note, after this question, see, let me tell you again how many questions we have solved. Absolutely not doable, right? Even your best of best faculties are going to get troubled in this question if they'll see this in any exam, or suddenly if they are going to see, right? So this is absolutely not doable. Doable, very doable, right? Well, slightly confusing just because we rarely use this formula, and they have not said where the final image will be obtained. Slightly confusing, very doable, easy, not easy but doable, not easy but doable, not easy but doable, right? Then easy and doable, easy, 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 easy. My only motive is to tell you that even for the most difficult paper, that was NEET 2025 till now, still you have got sufficient number of questions which you can easily do, right? And please correct me if I'm simply saying here these are easy questions and actually they are not, right? So I am being reasonable. Chalo. Now this problem is again a difficult one, no doubt about it. A difficult problem. Let's understand this, okay? Let's understand this. At the end, I'll count the number of easy questions in this paper at the end of the lecture. The question says, let's read this problem. The question says we have got an oxygen cylinder of volume 30 liter and it has got 18.20 moles of oxygen. After some time, oxygen is withdrawn. Some oxygen is withdrawn. After some time, some oxygen is withdrawn from the cylinder and its gauge pressure drops to 11 atm. Its gauge pressure drops to 11 atm and temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. The mass of the oxygen withdrawn is, it looks simple, but it is not. Just because of calculation, Let me explain this question to you. See, let's suppose that you have got a container like this, right? You have got a container like this, and we have got 30 liter, volume is of 30 liter. Now please understand, volume will not change, it will remain constant. I mean, gas has a property to acquire a particular container. So if let's suppose initially 18.20 moles of oxygen were in 30 liters of 30 liter of volume, again whatever the N2 moles will be, still they will be in 30 liter only. Clear? Finally, the temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, that is 300 Kelvin. Kindly note that this is 273 plus 27 degrees Celsius. And then they are saying that finally the pressure is, final pressure is, my dear friends, it is gauge pressure is 11 atm, but we have got to do nothing with gauge pressure. Gas does not know what gauge pressure and what atmospheric pressure is. We have to write absolute pressure, and that means it will be written as 11 gauge pressure plus of course 1 atm, which will give us 12 atm. 12 atm. So you know the final pressure, you know the final temperature. Can we write down, you know the final volume, can we write down the final number of moles? Can't we write it down? Be quick. So we know that we can write down PV is equals to nRT. So we are going to say a simple thing. We are going to say P2 V2 is equals to N2R into T2. So if you want to find out N2, you are going to write down P2. Pressure is, my dear friends, 12 atm and 1 atm is 1.01 into 10 to the power 5 pascals. Alright, multiplied by volume 30 liters. There were many students who told me, sir, in the exam we couldn't find out how many liters is meter cube. Please don't do these types of mistakes. 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube, right, divided by R, and instead of R, let's write it as 100 divided by 12. 100 divided by 12, and then you have got T2, and T2 is, mind you, 300 Kelvin, right? So let me tell you something. I've got 2 zeros, 4 zeros. I'll cancel out this 5, right? I'm also helping you with the calculation in this question, right? Because that's what makes this question difficult. Next thing is, my dear friends, this thing can be written as 10, and then you have got 12 and 12. Please use any method which will help your calculation. You know what 12 times 12 is, that is 144, multiplied by 1.01, multiplied by, you have got 100 and 10 to the power minus 3. That means you have got 10 to the power minus 1, right? If you'll ask me, what I'll say is here, we'll do one thing. We'll write it as 144 multiplied by 1. That means instead of 1.01, we are going to write it as 1. And we do it at many places. Like for example, is mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. But what we do is we simply use it as sometimes 9 into 10 to the power. Now, atmospheric pressure is 1.01. But for calculation, let's use it as 1. That means we'll get 144 times 0.1, which we can write it as 14.4. This is the final number of moles. Final moles. Done. That means number of moles which are withdrawn are going to be 18.20 minus 14.4. Yeah, I believe you can do this, hai na? I believe my students can do this. I'll save my time and I'll tell you. By the way, I have just now calculated it. It came out to be, my dear friends, 3.80 mole. 3.80 moles. 3.80 moles, right? Now, these are the moles, number of moles withdrawn. Fine. We all know that, sir, if we want to know the mass that has left, we are going to simply write 3.80 multiplied by molecular weight. This answer will be in gram. We want to give our answer in kilogram, divided by 1000. So our answer will be in kilogram. If you are going to solve it, this will approximately will be 0.121 something kilogram, and the nearest answer is A. That's how you have to do these types of questions in exam. Arey bhai, again you are saying answer is B, C. Answer should be 1 year. Please check. Kindly check, my dear friends. This one will be 0.1216 to be exact, right? But please remember, we have used an approximation over here. We have used an approximation over here. We have, instead of 1.01, we have used 1, and then we are then we are actually multiplying this, right? So this number will be, in reality, it will be slightly greater than 1.2121, and the closest answer is 1.25. So we are getting really good answer. Really good answer. Quickly write down in the chat box if everything's clear. Be quick. Sorted? My dear friends, please understand, very few students were able to solve this question in the final NEET exam, and I think after this explanation everything is clear. Be quick. Please see that I have also explained the entire calculation also. Right? Done? Any more doubt? We can move on to the next question. Great. Great, my dear friends. Great. Let's move on. Next problem is again. So last question was a good problem. Again, a very basic question from our notes. They have given us the equation of t and they want us to find out the acceleration. दोस्तों, let's differentiate with respect to x only. Let's differentiate with respect to x. You are going to get 2x plus 1. Let's now write dx by dt. So we are going to invert it. We are going to write it as 1 upon 2x plus 1. This is nothing but this is velocity. This is nothing but this is velocity. Right? And if this is velocity, acceleration will be dv by dt. dv by dt. Further, we can rewrite. Let's differentiate this with respect to t. So we are going to use quotient rule. We are going to use division rule of differentiation. Differentiation of 1 is 0. We are going to write down a negative sign. Differentiation of 2x. So differentiation of 2x will become, with respect to t, it will become 2 times of dx by dt plus differentiation of 1, that is 0, whole divided by square of denominator, that is 2x plus 1 whole square. 2x plus 1 whole square. Right? Please remember, dx by dt can be again written as velocity, that is v, and 1 upon 2x plus 1. 1 upon 2x plus 1 can be again written as velocity. That means this is 2 times of velocity and square of velocity, which basically means minus 2 times of cube of velocity. Right? And this is your final acceleration. Now you can substitute the value of v divided by 2x plus 1 whole cube minus 2 divided by 2x plus 1 whole cube. So answer is second option. Right? Answer is second option. Clear? Any more doubt, my dear friends? Everything is sorted. There are some tricks also to remember these types of questions, but I really don't think it is a good idea to remember all shortcut formulas of physics, है ना? Because anyway you have got lots of things to remember from biology, from chemistry. So in physics, only remember those formulas which are easy to remember and which are time efficient, right? Which will be cost effective for you. Next problem. This is again easy question. This question was also very easy, right? This question was definitely difficult. Moving on to the next one. To an AC power supply of 220 volt and 50 hertz, a resistor of 20 ohm, a capacitor of reactance 25 ohm, and an inductor of reactance. All right. So let's write each and everything down over here. Resistor is of 20 ohm. 20 ohm. Capacitive reactance XC is of 25 ohm and XL is of 45 ohm. All right. Using these three, I can easily find out Z. Z will be, my dear friend, XL minus XC. XL minus XC whole square plus R square. Right? So this means that we will have XL is 45 minus 25 square of this plus square of 20. So again you will have 20 root 2 ohm, right? So current will be voltage divided by 20 root 2. So this will be 11, and 11 divided by 1.414. So this will be, see, it can't be 15.6, so it has to be 7.8. Now this is what you can actually understand, है ना? After doing so much of calculation, you will get to know कि हाँ sir, by looking at the option it won't be 15.6, but when you will solve it, I believe you will get to the correct answer of 7.8 ampere. 7.8 ampere. Now the next thing is to understand that you have got this as XL minus XC, this is R, and this is going to be Z, and this is going to be angle phi, right? So tan phi is actually equals to XL minus XC mod of XL minus XC divided by R. So mod of XL minus XC was, I believe, 20, and this was also 20. That means we are having 1. That means phi will be tan inverse 1, which is 45 degree. Which is 45 degree. So 7.8 ampere and 45 degree angle. Easy, doable question, right? Any more doubt, my dear friends? Be quick. Let me know in the chat box if you have any doubt. Come on. Done? Everything's clear? Come on. Sorted? Another question. Sun rotates around its center once in 27 days. All right. So they are talking about the time period, right? They are talking about the time period. What will be the period of revolution if the sun were to expand twice of its present radius? That means let's suppose initial radius is r and then radius is becoming 2r. Whenever a question like this comes, now my dear friends, please remember that you will have to use conservation of angular momentum. Conservation of angular momentum, right? What does this says? This says, my dear friends, that I times omega is constant. I times omega is constant. Either they are going to talk about conservation of angular momentum, or they are going to talk about, if they are talking about time periods, they are going to talk about Kepler's second law. And in NEET 2025 paper, they have asked both types of questions, right? So this is sun to be a sphere of uniform density. That means we are considering it as solid sphere, right? So moment of inertia, we are going to simply write I1 omega 1 is equals to I2 into omega 2. So I1 is 2 by 5 m into r square multiplied by 2 pi by t1, right? 2 pi by t1, and instead of t1 I can write down it as 27 days is equals to 2 by 5, mass is not changing, radius is becoming 2r, that means 4r square, and 2 pi by t2. Obviously you can increase your speed by simply saying, sir, we can directly do it because time period is inversely will be directly proportional to r, but fine. 2 by 5 mr square and 2 by 5 mr square will get cancelled out, 2 pi and 2 pi will get cancelled out, and t will be actually equals to 27 times 4, right? So 8, so last digit is going to be 8, that means 108. Done? No more doubt. Moving on to the next question, right? Moving on to the next problem, my dear friends. Hopefully everything is clear. Again a nice question. Again a nice problem, my dear friends. Although not too difficult, but certainly a new type of a question. Let's read it. And please read it with me, okay? A model for quantized motion of electron in a uniform magnetic field B states that the flux passing through the orbit of an electron is nh by E. nh by E, where n is an integer, h is a Planck's constant, and E is the magnitude of electron's charge. According to the model, the magnetic moment of an electron is in its lowest energy state is. Lowest energy state basically means n equals to 1. Fine. Now let's see. You have got an orbit of electron. Let's say this is an orbit of electron, and magnetic field is present somewhat like this. An electron is revolving, it has got certain velocity E, right? They have said, in the question they have said that magnetic flux, which we actually write it as B into pi r square, they have said that this is actually nothing but we can rewrite this thing as NH upon E. NH upon E, right? They have said that let's write it down as NH upon E. Fine, sir, no problem. And then finally they are saying that we want to know magnetic moment. So I'm going to say here, if they want to know magnetic moment, let's write magnetic moment. Magnetic moment is I multiplied by area, that is pi r square. So at least I have an idea that instead of pi r square, I can rewrite as, I can substitute NH upon E times B. Let's substitute the value of pi r square over there. Clear? Moving on. What about current, sir? So I'll say here, for current, what you can do is, we all know that, sir, current is actually written by charge divided by time. So charge is E, and time period of a moving charge particle in a magnetic field is written by 2 pi m divided by qb. This is what makes this question very nice, because you are using magnetic flux, you are using formula of current, you are using time period, and you are using magnetic moment, right? Individually we know each and every formula. Current will finally become E square B divided by 2 pi m. Now it's time to substitute everything in that formula. That means magnetic moment will become current E square times B divided by 2 pi m. This is your current, multiplied by pi r square, and instead of pi r square, let's write NH divided by E into B. B can be cancelled out, one of E can be cancelled out. Finally, answer will be NH divided by 2 pi m. NH divided by, and I have got also one E also. And N is equals to 1, of course. So EH divided by 2 pi m. EH divided by 2 pi m. EH divided by 2 pi m. Again, D is the correct answer. EH divided by 2 pi m. Done. Very nice question, my dear friends. You can see how in NEET 2025, even those questions which were not numerically heavy, this question is not numerically heavy. You can ask me, sir, which question was numerically heavy? Yeah, this question is definitely numerically heavy, right? What about this one? This question involved more than 2 formulas, right? And because of this, many students might develop a confusion, how to substitute different things. So I'll give you a trick. I'll give you a hint. Hint is, always focus on your main answer. Main answer is magnetic moment. That means I multiplied by pi r square. Now try to write down current, and then current can be written as E divided by T, and then find out how to write down time period. the best, I mean, even if you don't remember this, the formula of time period, you know that time period can be written as, sir, 2 pi r divided by v. Now you will have to remember that ki haan sir, v is, radius can be written as mv divided by qb, right? mv divided by qb. So anyway, you are going to come to the same answer, that is E square b divided by 2 pi m. Moving on to the next question, my dear friends. Please see. Sorted? Clear? In this problem, they are saying we have got 3 identical rods. We have got 3 identical heat conducting rods which are connected as shown in the figure. The rods on the sides have thermal conductivity 2K, while that in the middle has thermal conductivity K, and the left one has 2K also, right? And temperature in the middle is 3T. Sorry, temperature on the left hand side is 3T and on the right hand side is T. Fine. The rods are thermally insulated. The rods are thermally insulated from outside. Clear. In the steady state, heat current will be same, right? So heat current will be same between this point, and between this point. Here, and they are saying that we have to find out, can we use it using the concept of temperature gradient? No, we can't, है ना? We can't, because K is different, right? So let's do one thing. Let's write down the current. Heat current will be written as Ka 3T minus, I'll have to use some more space. So I'll start it from here. Heat current will be written as K times A 3T minus T1 whole divided by length. Length is same, I believe, because these are identical, is equals to K A T1 minus T2 divided by L is equals to, and then my dear friends, again you have got 2K A T2 minus T whole divided by L. Doston, if you are going to closely see, obviously we can cancel out L, we can cancel out Ka, Ka, Ka. Let's, and we need to find out T1 and T2, है ना? We need to find out T1 and T2. So let's find out, let's use these two equations, and you are going to get, this will become 6T, 2 times 3 is 6, and this will become minus 2T1 is equals to T1 minus T2. My dear friends, this will become finally 6T minus 3T1 is equals to T2, or if you want to change the sign, you can rewrite it as 6T is equals to 3T1 minus T2. This is equation number 1. This is equation number 1. Now let's use this equation, right? My dear friend, this is all getting cancelled out. So we have got T1 minus T2 is equals to 2 times of T2 minus 2 times of T, right? Again, let's bring 2T on one side, and this will become 3T2 minus T1. I've got this another equation, right? Now please see how to solve these types of equations. Sometimes many students face trouble after this step. Please see, can you see 2T and can you see 6T, right? What you can do is, after this step, my dear friends, you can actually cancel out T, right? So let's write down 6T is equals to 3T1 minus T2, right? And then let's multiply this equation with 3. So you will get 6T is equals to 9T2, and I'll write 9T2 with over here, and minus 3T1, right? So subtract it. So you will get 0, and you will get, my dear friend, this will become 6T1 and this will become minus 10T2. So 6T1 is equals to 10T2. So T1 upon T2 will be 10 upon 6, that means 3 and 5. So 5 by 3 is going to be the correct answer. 5 by 3 is going to be the correct answer. Quickly let me know in the chat box if everything's clear. If any student has any doubt in this manipulation, you can ask me. All I have done is I have used these two equations. Then I thought that let's cancel out this 6T. So I have multiplied 3 to this entire equation, and then I have finally found my answer. Be quick, my dear friends. If you have any doubt, do let me know. Clear? Done? 5 by 3 is the correct answer. Come on, be quick. And then let's move on. This is also a nice question. Definitely a nice problem, right? Here? All right, great. Please, Rishi, ask your doubt. Quick. If you have any doubt, let me know, else I'll move on. Rishi, please ask me. Pucho bhai, pucho. If you have doubt, please ask your doubt. Can we apply voltage division rule over here? No. Come on. Done? Hi everyone, hi. Chalo, let's move on to the next question. This is also a nice problem. This is also a nice problem, my dear friends. Clear? Let's begin. The plates of a parallel plate capacitor are separated by D. Fine. So you have got a parallel plate capacitor somewhat like this, and it is being separated by D. This entire distance is D. This entire distance is D, right? And then they are saying two slabs of different dielectric constants. Two slab of different dielectric constants K1 and K2 of thickness 3D by 8 and D by 8. All right. So you have got one dielectric of D by 8 and another of 3D by 8. Right. Please see. So this is K1, K2. This is 3D by 8 and this is D by 8. And over here we have got air. Right? Clear? Over here we have got air. And then they are saying due to this the capacitance becomes 2 times larger than when there is nothing between them. Fine, my dear friends. They are saying that C equivalent is 2 times of epsilon naught A by D. Fine. If you remember, there is a formula of partially filled dielectric. partially filled dielectric. Partially filled dielectric. And that formula is somewhat like this, my dear friends. C equals to epsilon naught A divided by D minus T plus T by K. Clear? Now we are going to modify this formula by a bit. How? Let me show you. What we are going to write is, we are going to write down epsilon naught A divided by D and instead of D minus, now instead of T I am going to write 3D by 8 plus D by 8 plus, now they are saying T by K. So I am going to write 3D by 8 divided by K1 plus D by 8 divided by K2 is equals to epsilon naught 2 times of epsilon naught A by D. Obviously I can cancel out epsilon naught A. There is also one more information that K1 is equals to, K1 is equals to 1.25 times of K2, and they are saying find the value of K1. So instead of K2, let's write K1 divided by 125, and because of those 2 points I've written 100 over here. Is it clear, my dear friends? Right? Be quick. Everything's sorted. Done. So 25 5s are 25 4s are. That means 4 K2 can be written as 4 K1 by 5. Oof. That's why I've said this is a nice problem, right? So my dear friends, if now you are going to allow me, see what we are going to do. This will actually become 3D by 8 and D by 8. This will become 4D by 8, right? This will become 4D by 8. So let me write it down something like this. 1 divided by D minus D by 8 plus 3D by 8 K1 plus D by 8, instead of K2 let's write 4 and divided 4 K1 and 5 in the numerator, right? And this will also become it. But दोस्तों hopefully this is not incorrect here, है ना? I'm thinking कि might be possible कि this is incorrect from the actual question. Let me just see. I am thinking that there was D by 2 in the original question, if I am not wrong. What do you say? है ना? I think yes, this was your D by 2, है ना? There is some typo error in the actual question. In the actual question there was D by 2, right? In the actual question this was D by 2. Can you please check? I think there is a typo error in my question, है ना? Right? Clear? All right. There is a typo in this question. That's why we are getting slightly wrong answer. दोस्तों please help me. Right? Is that correct? Arey, don't tell me the answer yaar. I know the answer. I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to help you guys. ठीक है? I think I have got a typo over here. This is not D by 8. This is D by 2. Right? This is D by 2. Is that correct, my dear friends? That's why I think we are not getting the correct answer, my dear friends. Right? This is D by 2. In the actual question, this is D by 2. This is D by 3D by 8 is fine, but this is D by 2. This is D by 2. This is D by 2. So this will also become, sorry, this will also become D by 2. This will also become D by 2. है ना? And this will also become D by 2. This will also become d by 2, right? So no problem, I'll do it again for you, but we have almost got our answer, right? Now this will become, let's write 4 over here, let's write 4 over here, clear? 3d by 8, so this will become times 4 and times 4, right? 7d minus 7d by 8. So this will become d by 8. This will become d by 8, right? And after this, my dear friends, I'm going to write 3d by 8 k1 and plus this will become d by 2, and instead of k2, my dear friends, let's write 4k1 and let's write 5 over here. So automatically 3 plus 5 will become 8, and I'll not decrease the number of steps so that everybody can understand, right? After this, my dear friends, I'm going to solve it over here. Please see, this is 3d 5d, that means you're going to finally get 1 upon, this is d by 8 plus this is 5d, that is 8d divided by 8k1 is equals to 2 divided by d. Now d can be cancelled out, right? D can be cancelled out. Hopefully now everything is clear, my dear friends, right? And this thing will be cancelled out. If I am going to take the reciprocal of everything, I will get 1 upon 8 plus 1 upon k1 is equals to 1 upon 2, right? Hopefully everything is sorted, my dear friends. That means 1 upon k1 will be 1 upon 2 minus 1 upon 8, that means times 4 times 4, that means 1 upon k1 will be 3 divided by 8 and k1 will be 8 divided by 3. So 8 divided by 3 will be 2 point something, right? 2.666 I believe, right? 8, 3, 2 is 6, 2. So 666, that means A is correct answer. All right, my dear friends, clear? If any student has any doubt, please ask your pointed doubt. I'll definitely reply. All right, this is a very nice problem. If you are going to solve one question like this, it will clear your multiple concepts, right? Please understand that we have basically used this basic formula which is from your NCRT, right? From your NCRT. So we have said over here we have got d minus t plus t by k. So instead of this we have said here d minus t1 plus t2 and then plus t1 by k1 plus t2 by k2, right? That's what we have done. All right. Sir, can't T1 ever become less than T2 under any physical condition of thermal conductivity? T1 will become, oh Rishi, you are asking about me the last problem. No, no, if heat is flowing, if heat is flowing, always it is flowing from a bigger temperature to lower temperature, from a larger temperature to lower temperature. It has to be a potential difference, na? That's why heat will flow here. Clear? Everything is sorted. Chalo. Now hopefully this question is all done. Very, very nice question. And please see, there was one mistake in typing over here, but still we have got absolutely correct answer. Okay? Moving on to the next question. Another very, very nice problem. Very nice. This question was, it is not possible that we can solve this. I mean, sorry, I should not say not possible because there are, different types of students, but definitely this is a very difficult question. Very difficult, right? Slightly confusing also. So let's make it easy now. Let's make it easy. Let's see, my dear friends, what the question is saying. Question is saying, we have got, doston, we have got two cities X and Y which are connected by regular bus service with a bus leaving in either directions in t minute. in t minute. Bus leaving in either directions in t minutes. Let me tell you what do we mean by this. Please see, huh? Let's suppose these are cities X and Y. City X and city Y. Here, city X and city Y. Done? And then they are saying that in every t minute a bus is passing by. Let's suppose at any time bus 1 is over here. And let me increase this distance so that we have ample amount of space. This is Y. Let's say at any time bus B1 is over here. Bus B1 is over here. Done? Done, 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 done. That means B2 will, they are saying that B2 leaves after t minute, in every t minute, na? So B2 is over here. B2 is over here. Let's say that velocity of bus is, let's say velocity of bus is V. So the separation between these two buses is, will be D, and we can rewrite it as V multiplied by T. V multiplied by T. Is that correct, my dear friends? Let me tell you it in another words. We are basically saying here first bus leaves station at sharp 12 p.m. and after 15 minutes another bus leaves. So in that 15 minutes this bus will travel VT distance. Bus will travel VT distance. Clear? Sorted? Done? This is VT. Acha, this is in minute. So I can divide it by 60 and write it down in kilometer. So this distance will come in kilometer. Right? This distance will come in kilometer. Now they are saying that we have got a girl. A girl is driving a scooty at a speed of 60 km per hour. So you have also got a girl over here. And girl is driving her scooty at a speed of 60 km per hour. Done? Then they are saying drawing a diagram is the most important thing in these questions. Then they are saying in the direction of x to y and notices a bus that goes past her in every 30 minutes. Now please understand what they are trying to say. Let's suppose if a bus B1 passes this girl, right? B1 bus passes this girl, then after 30 minutes another bus will pass. So this is B2 and B1 will be somewhere over here. Hopefully you are understanding what I am trying to say. Clear? Now see how we are going to write it down. Basically what we are going to do is we are going to say, let's suppose girl is over here, right? And you have got girl moving with a speed of 60 km per hour, right? And let's say you have got bus B1, it passes the girl, right? And let's stop the girl for a moment. Let's apply relative motion. Let's stop this girl. That means bus B2 will have a velocity of, initially it has got velocity V, but relative to girl it will have a velocity of V minus 60. And in how much time it is covering this distance? This distance, my dear friends, this distance was, do you remember? This distance was D. So in how much time this bus is covering this distance? In 30 minutes. That means now the speed is V minus 60. Now the speed is V minus 60 multiplied by time. Time is 30. So 30 divided by 60. Is it fine? Clear? This was the most important point, my dear friends. Let me tell you again. Let's suppose at any time bus 1 passes girl. Bus 1 passes girl. Then they are saying after 30 minutes bus 2 will pass. Now we know the initial separation between bus 1 and bus 2 is D. And relative to girl, bus B2 is traveling with V minus 60. So speed is v minus 60, time is 30 minutes, distance is d. So can't I write distance is equals to v minus 60 multiplied by 30 into 60? Quickly write down in the chat box. Right? Is everything clear? Be quick. Done. Another point. Next, I'm going to write down this equation for you. I'm going to write it down this equation for you. That means D can be written as, or chalo, okay. I have written it over here. I'll just highlight it. We are going to use it, dosto. Done. Now, next thing is, my dear friends, from the opposite direction. They are saying that in the direct and every 10 minutes in the opposite direction. That means if let's suppose bus 1 crosses it, then bus 2 in the opposite direction, its relative velocity will be v plus 60 and it will cover a distance of d. That means now I can write down distance d equals to speed, relative speed times multiplied by time, and that is 10 minutes. That means 10 divided by 60. D must be same. Let's equate it. Let's equate it, dosto, which means that v minus 60 multiplied by 30 divided by 60 is equals to v plus 60 multiplied by 10 divided by 60. 60 can be cancelled out. This can be cancelled out. You are going to get 3v minus 180 is equals to v plus 60. So 2v will be equals to 240. That means v will be equals to 120 kilometer per hour. 120 kilometer per hour, only one answer is there. That means D is correct. Now, if you also want to find out T, you can substitute it. You can substitute in any of the equation and you can get to know T also, right? All right, my dear friends, any more doubt? Be quick, clear, sorted. Nice problem. Be quick. Let me know if everything's clear now. Done? Come on. Substitute velocity in any of the equation and you will get to know time also. If you have any doubt, do let me know. I'll explain, else I'll move on. This was a very nice question. Maybe not possible to solve this type of problem in NEET exam, to be honest, है ना? This is definitely a difficult question. Sir, calculation is absolutely correct. हाँ यार, calculation is absolutely correct. I know that because answer is correct. ठीक है, clear? Sir, how is the relative? हाँ ठीक है. How is the relative distance between the bus and the girl the same? Could you please explain? Yes, I can explain. I can explain. See, we are not talking about the distance between bus and the girl. We are talking about distance between two buses. देखो, हाँ वीरा, I am explaining your doubt, dear. Just a second. See, what I am trying to say is that buses are crossing and buses are going in this direction also and buses are going from Y also, right? Now, please see, my dear friend. If a bus, let's suppose bus B1 is over here and bus B2 is over here, then this separation will be same, na? This separation will be D. Because velocity of bus are same, Veera. Velocity of bus are same. I mean to say speed of bus are same. So this is going to same, this will remain same. Now we are saying that if let's suppose bus 1 crosses girl in this direction, then after 10 minutes bus 2 will cross. So that means in the same time D distance will get covered. Now the relative speed is different. This is V plus 60. So to cover the same distance, now less time will be required because girl is also coming in this direction, right? So that is why we have written V plus 60. Hopefully I have cleared your doubt, right? Chalo, let's move on to the next question. Done? Any more doubt, my dear friends? Be quick. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Very good. Done? Chalo. A uniform rod of mass 20 kg and length 5 meter. A uniform rod of mass 20 kg and length 5 meter leans against a smooth vertical wall making an angle of 60 degree with it. The other end rests on the rough horizontal floor. The friction force that the floor exerts on the rod is. Fine. Let's draw a floor. Okay, let's draw wall and let's draw a rod. A rod something like this. Clear? This angle is 60 degree. This angle is 60 degree. Doston, let's draw the usual forces without any mistake. Definitely mg will act from the center. Mg will act from the center. There will be a normal reaction from the floor. There will be a normal reaction from the ground, from the wall. There will be a normal reaction, there will be a friction force that will act. This friction force is acting on the rod, because there is a tendency of the rod to slip in this direction. Clear? So that is why friction force will act in such a way that it will resist the slipping, Clear? Else, if you are not going to apply this, all of these forces are on the rod here, on the rod. Okay? Clear? And this wall is smooth, doston. This wall is smooth. That's what they have said, that it rests on a smooth vertical wall. Please tell me if, let's suppose in next paper, in RE-NEET paper, they can say, ha, theek hai, I'll make a video on optical instrument, bhai, pakka, 100%. Let's suppose they are going to say ki wall is also rough. In that case, friction force will act in this direction. On the rod, friction force will act in this direction because there is a tendency. This, see how the rod falls here, how the rod falls. Rod actually falls like this, rod falls like this. This point has a tendency to go down, this point has a tendency to go in this direction. So on this point, friction force will act in this direction. On this point, friction force will act in this direction because tendency is to go down. Clear? Everything is sorted. But right now, that friction force will not act because this is a smooth vertical wall. So this is normal reaction from the floor. This is friction force, which is mu multiplied by normal reaction. This is a normal reaction from the wall, right? Well, I can easily say that normal reaction from the wall will be actually equals to friction force, right? And then the next point will be that normal reaction from the floor will be actually equals to mg, and mg is actually 20 times 10, that is 200 Newton, right? Now let's use the concept of equilibrium, because without any information required, please understand that this system is in equilibrium. This system is in equilibrium. Equilibrium basically means that summation of net forces will be 0 along all axes and net torque about all points will be 0. Now it is up to you to choose point. It is up to you to choose a point. I am going to choose my point as this. Now you might say, Yaar, sir, we actually want to find out friction and you are choosing point O. So torque produced by friction will become 0. How you will be able to find out friction? No worries, no worries. This will become 0, this will become 0, but we have got normal reaction from the wall, and numerically normal reaction from wall is equals to friction force. So no problem. So let's find out the torque. Let's find out the torque about point O. So torque by friction is 0, torque by this is 0, this is mg, and mind you, this is 60 degree, this is 30 degree. That means if this is mg, this will be mg cos 30. This will be mg cos 30. Right? So I'm going to write mg cos 30 is root 3 by 2 multiplied by L by 2. My dear friends, this distance is L by 2 and L is 5 meter. That means this will become 5 by 2. Dosto, I think I should also write down, instead of mg, I should write it down as 200. Right? Clear? Is equals to, this torque will get balanced by this torque. NW, and this is NW. This is 60 degree. This is going to be 30 degree. So this will be NW sine 30. NW sine 30. So this will be NW sine 30 is 1 by 2 multiplied by length is 5 meter. Dosto, 5 can be cancelled out. 2 can be cancelled out. This will become 100. NW will come out to be 100 root 3. That means friction force will also be 100 root 3. ठीक है, everything's fine. 100 root 3. Clear? Quickly write down in the chat box if everything's solid. Done. Any more doubt regarding the FBD of this wall? Dekho, I have also explained you one more thing, that what if this wall is not smooth, then we'll draw the friction of that on that wall also, on the rod also. ठीक है? Clear? Any more doubt? Be quick. Quickly write down clear in the chat box so that I can move on. Next question. Next question, my dear friends. Next question. In this question, they are saying, in an oscillating spring mass system, a spring is connected to a box filled with sand. Connected to a box filled with sand. As the box oscillates, and by the way, this is a spring mass system. This is a spring mass system. Right? It is a spring mass system. So situation is somewhat like this, dosto. You have got a spring over here and then a block mass m, and it has got sand. It has got sand. Right? And spring constant is k. Spring constant is k. And it is oscillating. Fine. Clear. Right? Then they are saying the sand leaks out slowly. The sand leaks out slowly out of the box vertically, so that the average frequency omega and average amplitude of the system change with time. Please see that out from this box, sand is slowly coming out. Sand is slowly coming out. Right? Why they are saying slowly? That means that please don't apply conservation of linear momentum and also all those types of things. Okay? So sand is slowly coming out from this. Now because of this, see what's going to happen. First of all, we all know that omega is written by k by m. Right? Clear? So if m is decreasing, omega will increase. Right? If m is decreasing, then omega will increase. And if omega is increasing, my dear friends, please understand, total energy is written by half Ka square. Half Ka square. What's going to happen is that as the sand will come out, mass will decrease. And because mass will decrease, because of this, energy will also decrease. the total energy will also decrease, because please remember, at a particular point we can also write down kinetic energy as half mv square. So V will also be decreased. So total energy should also decrease. If total energy decreases, then amplitude should also decrease. So I think second option is going to be the correct one, right? Second option is going to be the correct one. Clear? Clear, my dear friends, right? So this question is also of above moderate difficulty level, we can say that. Come on. Now this is another question. Nice problem, my dear friends. Let's solve this question. See, in this problem they are saying a balloon is made up of material of surface tension S. You have got surface tension. Its inflation outlet from where the gas is filled in has small area capital A. All right. It is filled with a gas of density rho. So density is rho. Then they are saying, and it takes a spherical shape of radius capital R. When the gas is allowed to flow freely out of it, its radius R changes from capital R to 0. If the speed V, which is function of a R, when they are saying V of R, they basically mean to say function of a R of gas coming out of the balloon depends upon the R as R raised to the power A, and time as, see, this capital T is time, not surface tension, right? So this entire Ramayan, or whatever you want to call it, is of no use for us. Why? Because this is what is useful. This result, that's it. This is what is useful, and we are going to write it down. We are going to say that time is directly dependent on surface tension raised to the power alpha, area raised to the power beta, density raised to the power gamma, radius raised to the power delta, right? So time is basically m raised to the power 0, L raised to the power 0, T raised to the power 1. Let's remove this proportionality sign. Let's write some constant K. Surface tension is, my dear friend, surface tension is force per unit length, right? So force is m1, L will get cancelled out, T minus 2 raised to the power alpha. Area is L2 raised to the power beta. Density is, my dear friends, mass per unit volume. Sorry, mass divided by volume. Yes, right. So m1 L raised to the power minus 3 raised to the power gamma, and R is basically L raised to the power 1 whole raised to the power delta. Clear? So if you are going to rewrite only mass, I'll say that 1 times alpha is alpha, and then plus gamma, and then if you are going to talk about time, you will have minus 2 alpha, and we don't have any time. And then for length, you will have 2 beta minus 3 gamma and plus delta. So 2 beta minus 3 gamma plus delta. Finally, let's compare. So T, that means minus 2 alpha is equals to 1, which gives us alpha is equals to minus 1 by 2. Alpha equals to minus 1 by 2. We have got first answer, alpha 1 by 2 wrong, alpha minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, 1 by 2 wrong. Now alpha plus gamma should be equals to 0, which means that gamma should be equals to negative times of alpha, and alpha is plus minus 1 by 2, so this will become plus 1 by 2. So either the answer was second or third. So in second, gamma is minus 1 by 2, wrong. That means third is the correct answer. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. Nothing doing. Clear? Right? We have got our answer. If you are going to do this much in your final exam, you can save your time. Else you will be worried about finding beta, delta, A. You don't have to find it out, right? it is also possible that it is not possible to find such values, right? So third is absolutely correct. Moving on to the next one. Can you please write down in the chat box if everything's clear? Done? All right. Consider the diameter of a spherical object being measured with the help of a vernier caliper. Suppose 10 vernier scale division, 10 VSD are equal to 9 MSD. Suppose 10 VSD are equals to 9 MSD. That means 1 VSD is equals to 9 by 10, which means that least count will be equals to 1 MSD minus 1 VSD, and further this thing can be written as 1 minus 9 by 10 times, mind you 1 MSD is actually equals to 0.1 centimeter. 0.1 centimeter. So this one will be 0.1 centimeter, and finally we'll get our least count as this will be 0.01 centimeter. 0.01 centimeter. Least count is 0.01 centimeter. Then they are saying the zero of vernier scale is at 0.1 centimeter when the jaws are completely closed, which means that this is a positive zero error. This is a positive zero error. This is a positive zero error, right? Clear? If the main scale reading for the diameter is 5 centimeter and the number of coinciding vernier divisions are 8, then the final reading will be, main scale reading is 5 centimeter plus vernier scale division is 8 multiplied by least count minus positive error, that is 0.1. Clear, my dear friends? Any more doubts? Be quick. Be quick, dosto. So this one, I think this is going to be 4.98. Come on, check, please, dosto. Be quick. Quick, my dear friends. Let me know. Any more doubt? Clear? Be quick. Done? Done and dusted. Can we move on to the next one? I think we have got some few more questions left. Not few more, but 1 hour more. At least 1 hour more, right? Chalo, let's move on to the next question. In the next problem, we have got a parallel plate capacitor made up of circular plates is being charged such that the surface charge density on its plate is increasing at the constant rate. My dear friends, by this they mean to say that d sigma by dt is constant, is a positive constant. D sigma by dt is a positive constant. The magnetic field arising due to the displacement current is, let me tell you, please see, we have got a capacitor like this, right? We have got a capacitor like this. Now please understand that sigma is changing. That means charge on these plates is increasing with respect to time. Charge on these plates are increasing with respect to time. Sigma is increasing with the constant rate. If sigma will increase, electric field will increase. Why? Electric field is sigma upon epsilon naught. Write down, quickly write down in the chat box, my dear friends, if this is all clear to you. This is plus this is minus electric, we know that electric field can be written as sigma upon epsilon naught. If sigma is increasing with a constant rate, that means electric field is increasing. If electric field is increasing at the constant rate, we can say that by varying electric field, there will be displacement current. There will be displacement current, and displacement current can be written as epsilon naught d phi by dt, and d phi by dt can be written as area times dE by dt. Now dE by dt can be written as d sigma upon epsilon naught divided by dt. Epsilon naught can be cancelled out, that means we will get dA d sigma by dt. And please remember, d sigma by dt is constant, which means that displacement current is constant. Is that correct? Right? Right. My dear friends, this thing is constant. Obviously, area is constant, which means that current is constant. So now please understand the situation. What you can now imagine is that circular, these plates are by the way circular. Huh? So you can assume the situation something like this, that you have got a circular plate, and by the way, circular plates are somewhat like this. So can I imagine this as a cylinder? Can I imagine this as a cylinder? A solid cylinder in which current is there, a constant current is there, right? A constant current is there. In this we have got current I. So if that means this, we are going to use Ampere's law to find out the magnetic field. And if you guys can remember this also, that if we have got a magnetic, if we want to draw the magnetic field, the graph is somewhat like this. This is R equals to capital R, and after this the magnetic field goes like this, right? That means maximum magnetic field will be at the surface and then it will decrease. So 0 at all places, absolutely wrong. Constant between plates, wrong. Non-zero everywhere with maximum at the imaginary cylindrical surface, absolutely correct. Maximum at the imaginary cylindrical surface connecting the peripheries of the plate. Third option is absolutely correct. Done? Clear? My dear friends, see, I'm not only explaining you the final answer, but I'm explaining you entire concept, right? Entire concept is this: we have got a constant current flowing inside the cylinder. As you are going to move away from the central axis of the imaginary cylinder, I net will increase. My dear friends, I net will increase, है ना? The line integral of B dot dl says mu naught times of I net. Mu naught times of I net. So this I net is increasing as you are moving away from the center, and it becomes maximum when you reach the surface, and then it starts to decrease because distance is increasing and I net becomes constant, right? Clear? Any more doubt? Be quick, write down in the chat box if everything's clear, dosto. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next problem, my dear friends. Let's read it. Let's read this question. An unpolarized light beam traveling in air is incident on a medium of refractive index 1.73. दोस्तों, refractive index 1.73 can be written as √3. That means refractive index can be written as √3. Right? Approximately √3 can be written as 1.73. है ना? So we can use it. Add Brewster's angle. Okay, let me tell you. Although this question can happen in matter of 20 seconds. Why? Because at Brewster's angle, we know that tan of I is actually equals to mu, and I will be equals to tan inverse of mu, that is I, this is root 3, so I will be equals to 60 degree, है ना, 60 degree, right? And the angle of angle of incidence is 60, so angle of reflection will be 60, and reflected light is partially polarized. Reflected light is completely polarized, sorry, refracted light is partially polarized, so option A will be correct. Is it clear? Is it clear, my dear friends? Be quick, write down in the chat box, then I'll explain the entire concept again. Be quick, my dear friends. Any more doubt? Done. Angle of reflection will be 60 degree. Come on. Done, 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 done. This is the interface. We have got an unpolarized light. Let's say this is at Brewster's angle. What happens is that we have got a reflected wave and this is completely polarized. Right? This angle is theta, so this angle is theta, and we have got a refracted wave. This is refracted and this is partially polarized. Partially polarized, and this angle happens to be 90 degree. So we can find out this angle. This angle will be 90 minus theta. And then you can apply Snell's law. But if you remember Brewster's law, you can directly use this. Okay. So this is also all done. Let's move to the next question, my dear friends. Last question was easy. I believe everybody can do it. Quickly write down in the chat box. Two identical charged conducting spheres. Two identical charged conducting spheres A and B have their center separated by a certain distance. Charge on each sphere is Q. All right. So you have got two spheres and we have got charge Q and charge Q, and these are, this is the initial situation. This is the initial situation. And the force of repulsion between them is F. Clear. So let's suppose the distance between them is R. And force, initial force can be written as KQ square by R square. And then we have got, then they are saying, we have got a third identical uncharged sphere, right? This is uncharged. And we are brought in contact with A first. So when you are going to brought in contact with A, finally charge on this will become Q by 2 and this will have Q by 2 charge. Why? Because these are identical, so charge will get redistribute because of potential difference, right? And because these are identical, potential will be written as KQ by R. And I don't want to do all of those things. Hopefully everyone remembers this. So charge will be equally distributed. You can simply write down Q divided by 2. Now again we are doing the same thing. We are now touching this sphere with this. Now please remember, this has now already Q by 2 charge. So now half of this will become 3Q by 2. How to do these types of things? Q plus 1.5 Q divided by 2. I am so sorry. 3Q plus 0.5 Q divided by 2. That means, my dear friends, this will become 3Q by 4. So finally we'll have, let's remove this. Finally we'll have 3Q by 4 charge on this. And then if they want us to find out the final force, we'll say finally the force will be K Q square, and this will become 3 by 8 divided by R square. So this is nothing but 3 by 8 times of F. Fourth, right? Hopefully everything is clear, sorted. Quickly write down in the chat box, my dear friends. Be quick. Any more doubt, any more trouble? This was a easy problem. Question was lengthy, question had lots of lines, but solution is extremely easy. These are identical, so charge will simply redistribute, है ना? And how to find out that? Simple thing is, whenever you have identical charge, identical spheres, q1 plus q2 divided by 2. This is the concept. And if these are not identical, then we'll say conservation of charge. Q1 plus Q2 is equals to Q1 dash plus Q2 dash. Clear? All right, good. All right, great. Chalo, let's move on. Class duration is now, I think we need around 30 to 40 minutes to complete this paper. 30 to 40 minutes, my dear friends. All right, let's look at this problem now. A container has two chambers. A very nice question. Very nice problem. A container has two chambers. All right. A container has two chambers, something like this. And then they are saying, it has got 2 liters, 2 liters and 3 liters separated by partition made from thermal insulator. The chambers contain 5 N1 moles. So N1 is equals to 5 moles. All right. And N2 is equals to 4 moles. N2 equals to 4 mole. And then V1 and V2 are, V1 was 2 liters, V2 is 3 liter. Done. Pressure is 1 atm. Pressure is 2 atm. All right. When the partition is removed, mixing will happen, and we need to find out the final equilibrium pressure. Now, question is certainly confusing, and I'll tell you why. First of all, we simply can't say that temperature will remain constant, because temperature is not constant, hai na? Please understand, temperature is not constant for these two gases. But when mixing will happen, we will assume one thing. Note this point, that after mixing, what we are going to say is that initial internal energy of system will be equal to final internal energy of system. This is the main concept. Please understand. And internal energy of any gas can be written as F by 2 nRT. F by 2 nRT. Now, obviously, we don't know temperature. So, instead of nRT, we can also write down F by 2 PV. We can write down F by 2 PV. So, we are going to say initially we have got two gases. So, F by 2, please see, huh? Really nice problem, dosto. F by 2, pressure P1 was 1 atm. Volume is 2 liter. Now, there is no problem in writing in liters, because anyway it is going to get cancelled out. Plus F by 2, pressure is 2 atm. Volume is 3 liter, is equals to, when you are going to mix them, obviously number of moles will add up, and anyway we don't require number of moles, hai na? So degree of freedom will remain same. This is one observation that I am actually assuming. sorry, this is one assumption that I am taking, that degree of freedom is same for each gas, because I don't know what degree of freedom is, है ना, right? So usually what student has done in this question is that they have said कि sir P1 V1 plus P2 V2 is equals to PF VF. But how they have arrived to this conclusion is not clear. Please don't assume that temperature is constant for both the gases, because it is not. It is not constant. You can find it out. Okay? So F by 2 into final pressure and volume will get obviously add up, it will become 5L. So degree of freedom we can cancel it out, F by 2, F by 2, F by 2. This will become 2 plus this will become 6. This will become, I can divide 5 over here, and this will be final pressure. So finally we'll get final pressure as 8 by 5. 8 by 5 is 1.6. 1.6 atm. Nice problem, बच्चे. Nice problem, है ना? Right? Please understand, please make your concept clear about these things. 2025 paper was really good because of these reasons, right? Over here they have not talked about degree of freedom, they have not talked about temperature, they have not said that whether internal energy will get changed or not. But if you are not going to assume that after mixing internal energy will remain same, you won't be able to solve this question, right? So there are no other methods. But by simply saying ki sir P1 V1 plus P2 V2 is equals to P final V final makes no sense. This makes complete sense, right? So note it down, make your concepts clear. Next question, again a nice problem, right? Nice but doable. I'm not saying difficult, doable. This question was certainly not doable in exam. If a student might be thinking about the basic concepts, he or she might get confused because information was not provided, sufficient information was not provided. But again, doable. I'm not saying if don't get me wrong, it was doable. Again, this is a doable question above moderate difficulty level. Why above moderate difficulty level? I'll explain it to you. In this problem, they are saying that a particle of mass m is moving around the origin with the constant force F, pulling it towards the origin. Clear? So they have not said what this force is, है ना? Also please remember this, कि this force might change. That means force is equals to obviously mv square by r. Yeah, this is a way of writing. This is a way of writing. This is the formula for centripetal force. But who is providing that centripetal force is not given. Right? It is not given, and they are saying here whatever this force is, it is constant. Got it? So please don't always assume कि we are going to use Bohr's first postulate. Bohr's first postulate can be modified, but Bohr's second postulate cannot be modified. है ना? Angular momentum will always be nh upon 2 pi. Clear? My dear friends, clear? So now the thing is that if this is constant, it means that we can say that V square is directly proportional to R. V square is directly proportional to R. Because F is constant. So V square is directly proportional to R because M is also constant, right? Next thing is, they are saying if Bohr model, now my dear friend, this is what I was saying, that this will change. But one more information is never changes. That is Bohr's second postulate. MVR is equals to NH upon 2 pi. This will never change, bhai. This will never change. MVR will be always equals to, now instead of V I can write, or instead of R I can write V square. So V times V square is directly proportional to N. That means V cube is directly proportional to N. That means V is directly proportional to N raised to the power 1 by 3. This small manipulation made this problem above moderate according to me. If you don't feel the same thing, no problem, no worries. ठीक है? Again, if V is directly proportional to n raised to the power 1 by 3, I can say the same thing here. Okay, fine. Now, instead of V, I can write it down. See, V square is directly proportional to R. Now, instead of V, I can write down n raised to the power 1 by 3 whole square directly proportional to R. That means n raised to the power 2 by 3 is directly proportional to R. So, I have got my answer. So, V is directly proportional to n by 3 and R is directly proportional to 2n by 3. Option third is confirmed. Done? Clear? Any doubt, my dear friends? Be quick. Come on, let me know in the chat box if everything's sorted. Okay. See, I am again explaining this. You are going to always use this thing as it is, but the left hand side of this first law can change sometime. Don't get surprised, है ना? Although in reality we know, according to Bohr's first postulate, it is electromagnetic force, it is electrostatics force which provides the necessary centripetal force. But in this case, they are saying here some constant force is pulling. So, okay, fine, no problem. We will do whatever question is saying. But you are always free to use second postulate, angular momentum is equals to nh upon 2 pi. Clear? Moving on to the next question. Next question is, the radius of Martian orbit around the sun is 4 times the radius of orbit of Mercury. Please see what they are saying. They are saying radius of Martian object Mars is 4 times radius of Mercury. Radius of Mercury. And time period of Mars is 687 Earth days. Let's write it as 687. So I have told you two things. If they are going to talk about time period and radius, either conservation of angular momentum or Kepler's second law. So, or Kepler's third law. Over here we are going to say T square is directly proportional to R cube. That means what they want to find out, Mercury na. So, time period for Mercury divided by time period for Mars whole square is equals to radius of Mercury divided by radius of Mars. We are going to write 4 times of radius of Mercury whole raised to the power 3. This gets cancels out, right? So, Mercury divided by Mars, and this will become 1 by 64, and let's take square root of this. This will become 8. So, Mercury time period will become by 687 divided by 8. Now, solve it, whatever this is. I believe this is 88, right? Hmm, 64. Please find here what is this correct answer. I think this is 88. If I am not wrong, it is 88, दोस्तों. हाँ. Right? Correct? 88, nearly. No, it's not coming accurately, but nearly it's fine. The nearest answer is correct. Right? Nearest answer is correct, my dear friends. No doubt about it. So this is not exact, but nearest is 88. Don't worry if you will not get the correct answer. If you are getting nearby answer, just check your calculation once and move on. ठीक है भाई? Clear? Any more doubts? Clear? Moving on to the next one. A body of 48 Newton on the surface of the earth, the gravitational force experienced by the body due to the earth at a height equal to 1/3 the radius of the earth from its surface. All right. They are saying that on earth weight is 48 Newton. On the surface of the earth weight is 48 Newton. That means force is M into gm upon r square, and this is 48 Newton, isn't it? And then they are saying at a height of equal to 1/3 from its surface. That means from here, this has to be 1/3 of the radius. That means h is equals to r by 3. So now the new force will become, F dash will become gmm divided by r plus r by 3 whole square, which will become, दोस्तों, this will become actually 3, so 4r, so 16, so gmm, and square of 3 will become 9 by 16 divided by r square. दोस्तों, this thing is nothing but 48, so this is 48, so this is 3, that means 27 Newton is the correct answer. So again, a very easy and doable question from NEET 2025 paper. No problem, hopefully, right? Please understand, the one of the mistake that many students commit in these types of question is that they forget to measure the distance from the center. Always remember, in the questions of gravitation, we will have to measure the distances from the center, whether you are measuring potential energy, kinetic energy, whatever you are doing, measure it from center, right? A wire of resistance R is cut into 8 equal parts. Fine. So if a wire of resistance is cut into 8 equal parts, my dear friends, one single part will become R by 8. From these pieces, 2 equivalent resistances are made by adding 4 together in parallel. That means R1 will become R by 4, that is R by 8 times 4, that is R by 32. That means R2 is also R by 32, right? And then they are saying that they are adding them in series. So R equivalent will be 2 times of R by 32, that is R by 16. R by 16. Clear? Done. Easy. No problem in this, right? Hopefully diagram is not needed, my dear friends. de Broglie wavelength of electron orbiting in the n equals to 2 state of the hydrogen atom is close to. Now understand, this is a small question but a nice problem. De Broglie wavelength. My dear friends, de Broglie wavelength is written by h divided by mv. I have always told you that second postulate of Bohr's module, Bohr is very, very important. We know that mvr can be written as nh upon 2 pi. That means from this I can write down mv equals to nh upon 2 pi r. Remember this also, huh? Remember this, that instead of momentum you can always rewrite this. So this will become h divided by, instead of mv I am going to write nh times 2 pi into r. H can be cancelled out. They are talking about n equals to 2. So this will become 2 into 3.14. Rn can be written as, my dear friends, if you remember, Rn is R naught times n square by z, right? So instead of Rn, this is Rn. Instead of Rn, I am going to write R naught. They have said 0. This is 0. This is 0.0529. Find 0.52. 0.052 into 10 to the power minus 9 multiplied by n square, that is 4, divided by 1 because they are talking about hydrogen, right? And divided by n equals to 2. So 2 can be cancelled out. And then yaar, acha, okay, fine, no problem. So answer should be in nanometer only. Nanometer. Then the calculation is easy. Then there is no problem. I think if I'm not wrong, option 1 is correct, but I'll check. And you tell me if you have any other doubt. Be quick. 0. Yeah, I think 0.65 was coming, but we are going to correct. We are going to select first answer. 0. No, sorry. Second one. Sorry. 0.6. 5. Our answer was actually coming out to be 0.65, right? You can also check, and please let me know in the chat box. Option 2. Option 2, my dear friends. Be quick. 0.65. Clear? 0.65, my dear friends. Any more doubt? Be quick. Done? Clear? Nice problem. Moving on to the next one. An electric dipole with dipole moment 5 into 10 to the power minus 6, 5 into 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb meter is aligned in the direction of uniform electric field of magnitude this. Clear. The dipole is then rotated through an angle. My dear friends, they are saying that dipole is with the direction of uniform electric field. This means that theta 1 is 0 degree and theta 2 is 60 degree. Theta 2 is 60 degree, right? With respect to the electric field, the change in potential energies, my dear friends, potential energy is PE cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. So dipole moment is 5 into 10 to the power minus 6. Electric field is 4 into 10 to the power 5. Everything is in SI unit. Cos 0 is 1. Cos 60 is 1 by 2. So this will become 1 by 2. So this will become 2 and this will become 10. So I think answer will be 1 here. 1 joule. Answer will be 1 joule. Clear? Any more doubt? Sorted? This is the work done by electric field. ठीक है? नहीं, work done by external torque against the electric field. Magnitude will remain same. Okay, nice problem. Nice problem. A constant voltage of 50 volt is maintained between the points A and B. Point A, point B, 50 volt, right? And of the circuit shown in figure, the current through the branch CD. Now many times students actually get confused in this question ki sir, if there is no potential difference between point C and D, why current will flow? These types of circuits are slightly difficult to imagine, but let me tell you how to solve these types of questions. See, the first thing is to find out the equivalent resistance, right? So let's suppose this is point A. From point A, you have got resistance 1 ohm, and then you have got 3 ohm, right? And I am assuming, for a moment, I am assuming point C and D to be same. This does not mean that I am saying that no current is flowing between these two. Now, this is not what I am saying. I am simply saying that their potential is same for now. Then from C, we have got point B. This resistance is 2 ohm. We have got another resistance. This is 4 ohm. And then something like this. My dear friend, this will become, R equivalent of these two will become 3 times 1 divided by 4. So 3 by 4, this will become 2 times 4 divided by 4. Divided by 6. So 4 by 3. That means finally the R equivalent will be 3 by 4 plus 4 by 3 times 4 times 4 times 3 times 3, and this will become 16 plus 9, that is 25 divided by 12 ohm. Ohm, 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 ohm. All right. And then current will be 50 volt divided by R equivalent, that is 25 times 12. This will become 2 and this will become 24 ampere. Now please understand. 24 ampere, clear, got it. Now see, 24 ampere of current is coming from here. Also, please understand. Acha, by the way, even if we don't find out the final current, I think we must not have a problem, है ना? But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. After this, my dear friends, what we are going to do is, see, we need to find out total current. See, 24 ampere of current is passing from here, from 3 by 4 ohm resistance. That means let's calculate this voltage V1. So V1 will be current, that is 24 ampere multiplied by 3 by 4, that is 6. That means V1 will be 18 volt. V1 will be 18 volt. So this is going to be 18 volt. So remaining 50 minus 18, 15 minus 20 is, that means this is 32. So this is 32 volt. This is 32 volt. This is V2. Done, done. It means that, my dear friends, this is voltage across 1 ohm. Voltage across 1 ohm is 18 volt. So current flowing in this 1 ohm will be V divided by R, that means 18 ampere. Acha, voltage in this 2 ampere is 32 volt. That means current flowing in this, let's say this is I3. This is going to be 32 divided by 2. That means 16 ampere. So we have got, now let's only talk about this C. This is C. This is another branch. This is another branch. So current from this branch is 18 ampere. Current from this is 16 ampere. That means this is 2 ampere. So 2 ampere is the correct answer. Right? 2 ampere is the correct answer. Sorted? Clear, my dear friends? Be quick. Write down in the chat box if you have any doubt. So we are going to use KCL. Right? We are going to use KCL in this case. We are going to use KCL in this case. This is a nice problem. नहीं आया समझ में महिरा जी? No problem. Let me explain it again. See what I have done. For the very start, I have said let's place point C and D. Let's keep point C and D as same. C and D is same. Let's find out R equivalent. 1 and 3 becomes 3 by 4. 2 and 4 becomes 4 by 3. These will become in series combination. Series combination, R equivalent comes out to be 25 by 12. Current will become 24 ampere. Clear? Now after this, my dear friend, do you remember that initially instead of 1 and 3 I can write it down as 3 by 4? That means what is the potential difference across these two branches? So potential difference will be current 24 ampere multiplied by 3 by 4, that means 6 volt. That means 6 times 3, that is 18 volt. So 18 volt will be given to 3 ohm, 18 volt will be given to 1 ohm. Which means remaining out of 50 volt, 50 minus 18 is 32. 32 volt will be given to 4 ohm, 32 volt will be given to 2 ohm. Now let's go back. 18 volt is given to 1 ohm, that is 18 ampere. 32 volt is given to 2 ohm, that is 16 ampere. So 18 ampere is coming from here and here 16 ampere is going. That means definitely 2 ampere is going down. KCL, conservation of current. If currents are coming like this, 3 ampere, 2 ampere, then 5 ampere will go like this. If let's suppose 18 ampere is coming like this and 16 ampere is going like this, that means definitely 2 ampere is going down. Conservation of 2 ohm कैसे आया sir? कहाँ आया 2 ohm? 2 ohm कैसे आया? Because they have given me 2 ohm here in question. Wow. 2 ohm कैसे आया? Where I have written 2 ohm बच्चे? this is given in the question, na? Done? Clear? All right. And now I'm moving on to the next one. Next question, dosto. Next question. A photon and an electron have the same energy E. Easy problem. Easy problem. Mahira, clear ho gaya? Everything's clear, dear. Can I move on to the next one, right? Now in this problem, they are saying that we have got photon and we have got an electron, right? And they have got same energy. My dear friends, if you want to write down energy for a photon, then use the formula hc by lambda. And if you want to write down the energy for an electron, then use the formula. They are talking about taking the wavelength, na? Yes. So what? No problem. We are going to say that lambda of electron can be written as h divided by momentum. H divided by momentum. Momentum can be written as 2me. Now everything's clear. Let's say this is photon. So energy is E. Okay? Energy is E. So photon can be written as lambda hc by E. Let's take the ratio of these two things. Clear? That's it, my dear friends. That's it. So lambda of photon divided by lambda of electron is equals to hc by E multiplied by h divided by under root 2m into E. So we'll get 2m divided by E, and we have got C over here. So C under root 2me. So that means third option is correct. Third option is correct. All right, clear? Done? Please note one thing, that when you are going to talk about photon, you cannot use this formula because this is for particles, right? And I mean, although this is for particles and wave, but the problem is that you cannot write anything for mass of a photon. So please use hc by lambda for energy of photon. For electron, you can use this formula, right? Clear? Everything's clear? All right, great. Moving on to the next one, my dear friends. Next question is very simple. Simple and NCERT based. Simple and NCERT. For dual nature, complete NCERT, hai na? For modern physics also complete NCERT. See what they are saying, that which of the following represents the variation of photoelectric current with property of light shown on the x-axis. So intensity is directly proportional to photoelectric current. This is absolutely correct. See, the idea behind these things is that if you want to emit some radiation, the energy of this radiation must be greater than work function. That means frequency of incident radiation must be greater than the threshold frequency. Then electrons will come out. Only then. It has got to do nothing with intensity, but how many electrons are coming out is dependent on intensity. Okay? So how many electrons are coming out is dependent on intensity. So this is absolutely correct. But frequency has got to do nothing with current. If you are going to increase frequency, definitely kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy will increase. Definitely stopping potential will increase. But number of electrons which will come out will not depend. है ना? Number of electrons which are coming out depends upon intensity. If you are going to use a bulb which has got larger power, then more electrons will come out. Do you remember the formula of number of photons coming out per second? है ना? It involves power. That means it involves intensity. So this is wrong, because if you are going to increase intensity, photoelectric current should increase. Frequency of light has got to do no business with photoelectric current. So option A is correct. Option A is correct. Very easy, simple problem from somebody is saying A and D. Why bhai? This is photoelectric current. I have said frequency has got to do nothing with photoelectric current. है ना? Got it? Done. Done, 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 done. Next problem. Next problem is related with moment of inertia. They are saying that we have got a sphere of radius capital R and it is cut from a larger solid of sphere radius 2r as shown in the figure. The ratio of moment of inertia of the smaller sphere to that of the rest part of the sphere about y-axis. Hold on. First of all, they are talking about ratio, and they are talking about ratio of moment of inertia of the smaller sphere to rest part of the sphere about y-axis. So about y-axis, about y-axis, moment of inertia of the bigger sphere is, moment of inertia of the bigger sphere is, and by the way, this is a solid sphere, right? Solid sphere of radius 2r. So 2 by 5 m into r square. This is going to be the moment of inertia of bigger sphere. Let's suppose mass of the bigger sphere is m. Mass of the bigger sphere is m. Now we all know that mass can be written as density multiplied by volume, right? Which means that mass is directly dependent on cube of radius. Now if let's suppose radius goes from 2r to r, that means it is becoming half, right? So if radius is becoming half, mass will become 1 upon 2 raised to the power 3 times. That means 1 upon 8 times, which means that mass of smaller sphere will become m by 8. Clear? Now moment of inertia of this mass about this axis will be, let's say this is I dash, it will be 2 by 5. Instead of mass, I am going to write m by 8 and r square. And if I want to know about the moment of inertia of smaller sphere about the y-axis, I am going to use parallel axis theorem. So I am going to say this is 2 by 5 m by 8 into r square plus mass times this distance is r, so r square. And then finally they are talking about taking the ratio of I small divided by I big with respect to x-axis. So solve it. I think this is all clear. This is all clear. You can solve it and get to the answer. Is everything sorted, my dear friends? No doubt. Quickly write down in the chat box. This is all clear na? You can do this much. Be quick. Write down in the chat box, my dear friends. This is what's going to save your time, my dear friends. है ना? This is what's going to save your time, that if radius is becoming half, mass will become 1/8. Mass will become 1/8. And parallel axis theorem, that's it. ठीक है? चलो. Very, very good, my dear friends. Moving on to the next one. This is also a nice question. Nice problem, my dear friends. All right. Let's see. Now in this question, we have got a full wave rectifier circuit with diodes and D2 is shown. Acha, D1 and D2. D1 and D2 is shown. And then they are saying if input supply voltage is this. If input voltage supply is this, this is very, very important. Please see that, let's understand what they have written over here. VIN, that is input, is 220. So this is peak voltage 220. Then this is 100 omega t. That means, my dear friends, omega is 100 pi. and omega can be written as 2 pi by t. Is that correct, my dear friends? That means pi and pi gets cancelled out. Time period comes out to be 2 divided by 100, which is 1 divided by 50. दोस्तों, if I'll convert it into milliseconds, if I'll convert it, why you are crying, bhai? Huh? Why you are crying? If I'll convert it into into milliseconds, I'll simply write down 3 zeros and I'll write down 10 to the power minus 3. So this will become 20. That means time period is 20 milliseconds. What do you mean by 20 milliseconds, sir? It means that the cycle of voltage cycle will, by the way, it is sine, so it will move something like this, vary something like this. This is V naught, this is minus V naught, and this is 20 milliseconds. This is 20 millisecond. So that means this is 10 millisecond. So for 10 millisecond it is positive, for 10 milliseconds it is negative. Done? Clear? Time period comes out to be 20 milliseconds. For 10 milliseconds वोल्टेज इज पॉजिटिव. सर मेरा नीट का पेपर नहीं निकल पाएगा, फिजिक्स बहुत वीक है. ऐसा नहीं होगा, ठीक है. You have got still 20 days. 20 days are more than sufficient to revise your entire physics. After this question, I'll help you. Let me first solve this problem. Hopefully, how we have arrived to 20 milliseconds is clear to all of you, right? After this, for 10 milliseconds, it will be positive. For 10 milliseconds, it will be negative. That means for 10 milliseconds, this is positive, this is positive, this is negative, this is negative. But we are talking about 15 milliseconds. That means this is for the next half cycle. In the next half cycle, this will become negative, this will become negative, this will become positive, and this will become positive. If this becomes positive, then this will be forward bias. So D2 is forward bias and D1 is reverse biased. Clear? All right. Now you will have to assume here that initially current was moving in this direction. Clear? All right. Any more doubts? Quickly write down in the chat box. This is a nice problem, my dear friends. Done? Sorted? Next question, two gases A and B are filled at the same pressure in separate cylinders with movable pistons of radius RA and RB. Okay, fine. Let's see. If you have got two cylinders, something like this. And these are the pistons, right? And then they are saying we have got two gases filled with the same pressure in separate cylinders. So pressure is P, radius is RA, radius is RB, radius is RA and radius is RB. On supplying an equal amount of heat to both the systems, that means heat is provided, let's say delta Q and delta Q. Fine. Under constant pressure. So pressure is constant, my dear friends, under constant pressure, right? So it's an isobaric process. You are providing this under isobaric process. So it means that it will go up, hai na? So this piston is going to move up, obviously. The piston are displaced by 16 centimeter and 9 centimeter. So piston moves over here and piston moves over here. So this displacement is 16 centimeter and this displacement is 9 centimeter. if the change in their internal energy is also same, if change in their internal energy is also same, that means delta U, then they are talking about ratio of RB and RA. Please use please use first law of thermodynamics. My dear friends, whatever heat you are giving to the system will be required to do some work and increase internal energy. Now delta Q is same, delta U is same, that means work done has to be same. And work done can be written as, for isobaric process, work done can be written as P times delta V. So P, pressure is also same. P times delta V will be written as area. This thing will be written as pressure into area into displacement. है ना? Let me write it as displacement as y. So pi into r1 square and displacement is 16 centimeter. Pressure is same. Pi into r2 square and displacement is 9. My dear friends, p pi cancel. R1 upon R2 will be 9 upon 16 ka root, which means that 3 upon 4. 3 upon 4 is the correct answer. Option B. Option B. Clear? Got it? Any more doubt, my dear friends? Yes, option B, option second is absolutely correct. Nice but easy, है ना? Nice also and also easy. Please remember that everything is same. Delta Q is same. Delta U is same. It is isobaric. Work done will be written as P times delta V. Right? Any more doubt? Be quick. Let me know in the chat box. Good handwriting. Thank you so much. Thank you. Chalo. I think now almost questions are finished. I'll give you 1 or 2 questions in homework. This is very easy, bhai. In this problem, you have got, they need to find out delta P by P in percentage. Right? So what you can do is, you can rewrite it as 3 times of, no, I mean not rewrite, but you will have to write it like this. 3 times of delta A by A plus 2 times of delta B by B, and we always find out the maximum error, plus delta C by C and plus 1 upon 2 times of delta D by D. 1 upon 2 times of delta D by D. Right? Something like this. And then simply substitute and multiplied by 100. Multiplied by 100. So 3 times of, and by the way, they have given this in the percentage form. So 3 times 1 plus 2 times 3 plus 2 plus 1 by 2 times of 4. That means this is 2. So 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 2 is 13. So 13% is the correct answer. 13% is the correct answer. Clear? Right? Any more doubt? Be quick. Sorted? Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Next question. This is also a nice problem. है ना? Nice means moderate, slightly less than moderate difficulty level. The intensity of the transmitted light when a polarized sheet is placed between two crossed polarization at 22.5. From the polarization axis of the is I naught is the intensity of polarized light after passing through the first polaroid. All right. Okay. See what they are trying to say. The intensity of the transmitted light when a polarized sheet is placed between two crossed polarization at 22.5 degree from the polarization axis of one of the polaroid is dash and I naught. Let me tell you what is this. let's suppose this is a polarizer, and this is the pass axis. Let's say this is the pass axis, right? Now another pass axis is like this. This is what do we mean by cross. This is what do we mean by two crossed polarization. Two crossed basically means the angle between this pass axis 1 and pass axis 2 will be 90 degree. Got it? Pass axis 2. This is going to be 90 degree. Hopefully everything is clear, my dear friend. Right? And now they are saying that we have got another axis, which is, let's suppose this is the initial pass axis, and the another axis is making an angle of 22.5 degree. This angle is 22.5 degree. Hopefully everything is clear, right? The I naught is the intensity or polarized light after passing through the first polaroid. So after first intensity is I naught, है ना? ठीक है? Else what happens is let's suppose we have got an unpolarized light. So after, if a unpolarized light is passed from an polarizer, intensity becomes I naught by 2. Intensity becomes I naught by 2, but right now intensity after this pass axis 1 is I naught. So after this intensity will become I naught cos square, let's name it as angle theta. For now, let's name 22.5 as angle theta. Done दोस्तों? Clear? Now angle between, please understand, angle between pass axis 1 and pass axis 2 is 90 degree. So what is the angle between this axis and this axis? That is going to be 90 minus theta. Is that correct? So finally after this, intensity will become I naught cos square theta. This is my I dash. So I am writing I dash over here multiplied by cos square of angle between this axis and this axis, that is 90 minus 22.5 degree, which is nothing but, finally I'll write it as I naught cos square theta. This will become sin square theta. I'll divide 2, I'll multiply 2, and I'll get I naught by 2, and I'll write sin 2 theta. Now I can substitute, because 22.5 is nothing but 45 degree, right? And this is also, by the way, this is also getting squared. Finally, you will get I naught by 2 times 1 by 2, that is I naught by 4. I naught by 4 should be the correct answer, right? And please note that initially they have not said that we are going to use unpolarized light. So this is the correct answer, my dear friend. Yaar, एक second, just a second. I naught. I think it should be I naught by 2. Acha, sorry. I'm so sorry. There's one mistake here. My bad, my bad, my bad. Because, doston, the problem is that you cannot multiply 2, na? You will have to multiply, because the thing is, please see, you will have to multiply, this is this, right? Okay, fine. After this step, what I'll say is I naught to make it 2 sine theta cos theta whole square, we'll have a 2 over here. So I'll have to multiply 4. My bad, dosto. So sorry for this mistake. That means we'll get 4 over here and this will become I naught by 4 and this will become 1 by 2. That means I naught by 8 is the correct answer. My bad, my dear friends. Hopefully now you have understood. Please understand that this is sine square theta cos square theta. I can write it as sine theta cos theta whole square. So inside bracket, let's write 4 so that we can write it down now. Right inside, let's write it as 2. So 2 sine theta cos theta whole square. So in a way, we'll have to multiply 4 over here, right? So 4 and let's also write down 4 over here. Now everything's clear. I naught by 8. Clear, my dear friends. Hopefully now everything is sorted. Let me know if you have any doubt. Clear? Done? Yes. Yes. Okay. Question is nice. Huh? Question is definitely nice. Acha, what if we have got an analyzer before this Polaroid? If we had an analyzer before this Polaroid, then this intensity would have become I naught by 2. Explain once more. Okay, okay, fine, I'll explain once more. This question, then we'll have to actually end the class. Okay, then we'll end the, and by the way, all the questions are also finished. Almost all the questions are finished, right? See, question says the intensity of the transmitted light when a Polaroid sheet is placed between the two crossed polarization. First of all, two crossed polarization means if one of the axis is like this, another axis will make 90° with it. This is what do we mean by cross polarites, right? So if one of the axes is like this, another axis will be like this. Now they are saying in between of these, we have got another polarizer whose pass axis makes an angle of 22.5°. Let's say with this one. So with this one, the angle will be, my dear friends, the angle will be, this angle is going to be, if this angle is theta, this angle will be 90 minus theta. And if this intensity is I naught, then intensity after this polarizer will become this I naught times cos square theta, Malus law. After, if let's suppose this is intensity I dash, so after this Polaroid, intensity will become I dash multiplied by cos square, and now the angle is 90 minus theta. So 90 minus theta. Dosto, cos 90 minus theta is sine theta. So that means this thing will become sine square theta. Right? Sine square theta, and after that I think everything is clear. Now is it fine? Yash, you have asked this question. No more doubt. Sorted. Chalo. Now I will give you 2 or 3 questions. 2 or 3 questions in homework. Solve them. One of them is like this. A pipe at both ends. Open at both ends. So fundamental frequency. My dear friends, let me help you in this one also. Open at both ends basically means open end, that means antinode, same over here, right? So antinode, and we have got a node over here. This is lambda by 4, this is lambda by 4, that means L will be equals to lambda by 2, right? L will be equals to lambda by 2. And they are saying frequency is F. So how to write down frequency? V equals to frequency into lambda. Lambda is 2L. That means frequency will be equals to V divided by 2L. And V is velocity of sound in air. That is 332, 340, whatever you want to write down. Hai na? Now they are saying that pipe is now dipped vertically into a water drum. So we have got a water drum like this. We have got a water drum like this. We have got a water drum like this to half of its length. Half of its length basically means, my dear friend, something like this. Now what's going to happen is that this end will behave as a closed end. This will behave as a closed end, dosto. So that means now the fundamental frequency will be something like this: open amplitude, antinode at open end, right, and node at closed end. Is it clear, my dear friends? This is absolutely sorted. So this length will be, this length is going to be this, by the way, this is L by 2, है ना, because they have said half of its length. So the remaining is L by 2. So L by 2 is equals to lambda by 4. So this becomes 2. So lambda is again equals to 2L. Lambda is again equals to 2L. So your frequency will be still same. Frequency will be still same, because again you are going to say frequency V equals to F dash into lambda dash, है ना, or V will be equals to now F dash into lambda will be still 2L. So frequency will remain same, will be equals to F. Clear? Done? Any more doubt, my dear friends? Clear? Sorted? Same? All right. Fantastic. Fantastic, my dear friends. Chalo. Now, let me tell you, many students were saying, sir, we are having problems in physics. What you can do is, see, I have completed kinematics, NLM plus work power energy, center of mass plus rotation, right? These chapters are completed, and after this we have got, I have taken 3 live classes on quotient practice. But please note that all of these questions are above or around JEE mains level. JEE mains level. So what you can actually do is, if you still can't solve questions of JEE mains level, first complete your notes. First complete your notes, revise formula, right? Complete NEET PYQ, and then please complete these lectures. You will be good to go for your RE-NEET exam, and I am going to constantly take classes after rotation. We are going to complete electromagnetism part, right? You are going to find electromagnetism part in these live lectures. So kindly complete it. Other than that, I know I have to, I will be making a video on logic gates and on optical instruments. If you have any more demands, do write down your demand, your requirement in the comment section, right? I'm going to personally see and I will do it. Sir, kindly block wise question solving. Veera, that's what I'm saying, dear. This is already done. So I'm going to come up with different class now. I'm going to come up with different chapter. You can see this video of kinematics, Newton laws of motion, work per energy. Really great questions. Really great questions. You are going to get the PDF of this class on PW NEET English channel, right? PW NEET English channel, WhatsApp channel. The link is in the description. All right, PDF kahan milegi? That's what I'm saying. You are going to get the PDF of this class and all the other classes on PW NEET English WhatsApp channel. Link is in the description. All right, clear? Any more doubts? My dear friends, that will be all for today. All right. Veeramani, okay, long time, Veeramani, long time no see. Come back. Chalo. All right then, bye bye. Thank you so much. See you in our next class. Okay, bye bye.